items on the agenda with the.
I didn't have it on the last agenda, and we didn't discuss it.
Was it carried forward to this agenda? It should have been.
I don't think that the recreational stuff was on, put on the agenda.
No, I had it to have on TV.
Okay, so then that will be,
We should have discussed it, but we didn't.
that will be added to the agenda, then it's item number 21. And it's in a public park, it's public business with public money, so it's a public issue. As long as the discussion is pertaining to the work. Are we connected now to the, it has to be turned on.
Charlie?
You have to turn that thing on there, I think.
No, he was just here and all he had to do is.
It's also, then why did it? Bryce is sure that the community is connected?
He showed Charlie how to do it.
Okay, ask Bryce to come up to make sure. One thing the community has asked us to do many times is to get this thing working when council starts, before council starts. So while we're waiting for that, just review the agenda. I know that you've read all of your stuff beforehand, and so we can get through this very quickly.
That sounds great to me, Chief. I have a golf date this evening.
Okay.
With my grandchildren.
And our nephew's in the hospital right now under heart surgery.
Who's that, Chief?
Kim. Bypass surgery.
Hagen. Oh, Hagen. Okay.
My operating at the way one this morning.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he went in this morning.
So they're gonna call us when it's done.
Oh, my.
I couldn't find him down there. I'm just gonna text him.
Well, we'll get started and just have him make sure that that's working then. So we'll start the minutes then. It's been moved by Curtis and seconded by Chris Brandt to adopt the agenda with one added item. If the mover and seconder agree, and then we'll need to add each splash pads on the agenda, voted by Councilor Chris Merrick. Is that agreeable to the mover and seconder?
Yes.
Okay, anybody opposed to the motion? Seeing none, the motion is carried. So the motion will read then, Charlie, and we will moved by Curtis and seconded by Chris Brandt to adopt the agenda with one added item. Each volleyball and splash pads will be spoken by Chris Miracle. That motion is carried. We'll have the minutes of July the 17th. So present, the council held a meeting on Wednesday, July the 17th at 9:30 a.m. in the council chambers. I was present, Omari was present, Chris Miracle was present, Aaron Ferranti and Linda Levine were present. No, Aaron and Linda joined by teams, pardon me. Aaron Ferranti left at 10:40, she wasn't feeling well. Sherry Miracle, CEO, was present. Angela Miracle was the Director of Operations present. Shelley Bolden, Executive Administrator, Recording Secretary of Council President. Hanson Miracle Licensing was here. Motion one was moved by Aguari and seconded by Curtis to adopt the agenda. The motion was carried. So motion two was moved by Aaron Ferranti and seconded by Aguari that the council minutes of July the 3rd, 2024 be approved. The motion was carried. Motion three was moved by Linda and seconded by Chris Frank to acknowledge that CN representatives will be attending the August 21st, 2024 council meeting to discuss the CN Indigenous Reconciliation Action Plan, presentation and to get presentation for feedback. The motion was carried. Motion four was moved by Chris Frank and seconded by Chris Miracle to approve that she signed the authorization letter for the Department of Fisheries and Oceans to complete the Lake Ontario annual monitoring. The motion was carried. Motion five was moved by Curtis Brandt and Chris second by Chris Brandt, to approve staff to compile a complete package on the history of a residency bylaw for the council to review before scheduling a meeting with staff. The motion was carried. Motion 6 was moved by Chris Brandt and seconded by Linda to direct an administrative review to determine the need for to provide a budget plan for. And what was that for? For what? What does council recall? Motion 6.
Oh, I mentioned that was for the, my request to increase the working hours. Because
For more reason.
the TMC said that that's, he's working around that money. I have my position to take out of my account.
Yeah, and I just
Yeah,
like.
did we come up with more after that? Did we talk about more after that?
The mortgages?
Yeah, didn't we?
We had some discussion on it.
Oh, I thought
I thought
Yes,
we
it
did.
is.
I remember.
motion 10, you made a motion to approve the complete financial impacts to increase the mortgage loans to 400,000, so it must be something different.
Yes.
So we need clarity on motion 6. Charlie, did you keep notes from motion, the last council?
He was here.
No. Oh, you were here on the 17th.
Shelley would
So
have
I
that.
think we're going to have to defer these minutes because unless Sherry can recall what it was for. A budget planning for what? Does any of the council recall what this for?
I can't remember the.
Okay, can you look up the
How
last,
do you first?
what was the
No.
agenda item? Can anybody look up the agenda from that meeting? From the July the 17th, it should have been on the agenda. It stems from something that's on the agenda. Cherry, on motion 6, it's vague. We needed, they're planning a budget. Do you recall what it was for?
Motion 6,
Yes.
to direct an that's a administrative review of the grass cutting
Of the-
issue.
All the grass cutting.
Yes, I am still looking at all of that and putting together a package of what we would be looking at.
Okay, so put that in for the grass cutting need in the community. So now we make it complete. So the plan is for the grass cutting budget.
Thank you.
This is for seniors, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. So that will be there, and then motion 7 was moved by Chris Snarple and seconded by Chris Brandt to approve awarding the contract to build 6 tiny houses to build all contractors in the amount of $1,397,161. The overall project budget in the amount of $3,676,803. MVCQ's contribution is $1,721,203 from the housing budget, and the remaining $1,955,600 will come from the Section 95 loan from CHC. The motion was carried. Motion 8 was moved by Linda and seconded by Wari to approve the signing of the Association of Yukon Allied Indians AIA letter of agreement for mental health wellness team funding, $56,250. Senior survey capacity building, $10,000. Responsible gambling, $17,000. Opioid funding, $9,659. Ending violence against Indigenous women, $30,000. Human trafficking, $11,883. And Indigenous victim services, $22,000. Motion is carried.
Chief, interrupt me, Chief. Don't forget. On motion 7, the first was a Wari moved it, and I think maybe an Aaron, but I didn't move it. I support it, but I didn't move it.
Well, this is what we have, but we'll have to look at the video. So you're saying motion 7, you didn't move it?
Pretty sure Wari jumped right on it. I I'm not sure.
Approve awarding.
She wasn't here.
Okay, okay. I might have seconded it.
She,
I remember we were on Teams.
Okay, well, at the end of the day, I support it. It's just, you know,
Okay, but you don't want to be, why don't you want
It
to?
just, it, that, like I said, I'm pretty sure I didn't.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Aaron and I were on
motion,
Teams.
motion 9 was moved by Aaron and seconded by Linda to approve to pay the Allen Pratt invoice 6295 in the amount of $6,252.
6,000.
6,000, pardon, to approve to pay Allen Pratt $6,252 for the Culberson land tract land claim. And invoice number 6296 in the amount of $368.50 for the and loss of use. Motion was carried. Motion 10 was moved by Chris Miracle and seconded by Linda to approve to staff complete the financial impacts to increase the mortgage loans to $400,000. The motion was carried. Motion 11 was moved by Linda and seconded by Barry for the meeting going private. The meeting went into private at 12:54 p.m. These are the minutes that are recorded by Shelley Bowden, the executive assistant, administrator assistant, and recording secretary of the council. Are there any errors or omissions or corrections to these minutes? If so, speak now. Or is it?
So, I'm not in favor of motion 7, Aaron was here. She, like, she wouldn't have approved the motion 9, if she wasn't here for motion 7.
Okay, if we're going to have a discussion about who moved the motion, this will have to be deferred to the next council for clarification.
No, it's,
She left at 10:40. She said she wasn't feeling well.
right, but motion 7, you guys are saying she think he wasn't here for motion 7, but go down to motion 9,
And she moved it.
yeah, so how is she not here for 7?
Well, the meeting concluded at 12:54, so there must have been quite a discussion on motion 10.
Yeah, because I don't remember Aaron moving and.
Okay, what we need to
my
do in
computer, 'cause I was
future-
on Teams, so
What
sometimes
we
it
need to do,
comes
Sherry,
out.
for the minute taker, when the council leaves, you need to note that after the motion, insert it in that body of the minutes, so you know what they're here for and what they're not here for.
Oh,
Just in terms
when the
of-
counselor leaves?
Yeah, so if they leave after motion 5, and put so-and-so left at, in the time they left. That way we don't have this discussion, this type of discussion.
just a certain time.
So,
Yeah.
so do you want to defer the minutes for clarity, or do you want to pass them as is? As recorded, with the additional motion, like the grass cutting budget will be included there?
I'm good with it. It's up to Chris.
Yeah,
It's
I
your
don't think
issue.
that, I'm just saying, technically speaking, I didn't move the motion.
Okay.
Honestly, I haven't reviewed the recording, no, for sure.
That's all.
Okay, are you then satisfied with pass it the way it's recorded then?
He just said it was.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the minutes as corrected? There is. Is there a seconder?
I second.
Linda? Anyone opposed? Opposed, seeing none, motion is carried. It was moved by Curtis and seconded by Linda. To approve the minutes as corrected for July the 17th. Okay, the next item, is there any business arising from the minutes?
2 weeks, 26th.
Well,
Any business arising from those minutes?
Motion 5, chief, where is that information so we get our head around it? Speak for
5?
yourself.
From Cecil?
No, that-
To
There was
approve,
there was something sent around by Lisa, I saw
Okay,
that.
so where's 10? Okay, what is the information from motion 10?
Sorry, Chris, I'm getting confused. Are you wanting to address motion 5?
Yeah.
Motion 5,
which is the residency bylaw?
motion 5, yes, we're supposed to get, it's in email saying the information's coming.
Yes, the packages are gonna be ready when they're being put together.
Okay, but I don't want to walk into a meeting without information that big enough.
No, today you're gonna receive those packages,
Okay,
and today you're going to schedule a time to sit down and discuss. So the packages are coming to you today, so you have time to review, and then you guys are gonna, what's on the agenda today is that you guys decide on a date.
There are 17 drafts of bylaws.
Yeah.
So I would caution my fellow council, the chief, that we don't get bogged down in discussing it. in detail today?
No.
About the information.
Yes, it's
No.
basically going to, you're gonna get the packages today, and then you gotta come to an agreement on a day.
Just set a date to talk about it.
Thank you.
But I strongly recommend that the council consider having that broader roundtable with our lawyer, with the Department of Justice lawyer, Indigenous Services Canada, and this landlord tribunal and the police to figure out what will work here
Well, that's for,
for future.
Yeah, that's gonna be different from this,
Yeah, I know.
that's something totally different too.
Yeah, I know. So is there any questions arise for the minutes in motion 10? Then you mentioned.
Yeah, where is this information?
10.
Is the money there or not there?
To increase the
Oh,
mortgage
they're
400,000.
doing well, right now, not for this year,
So
it would have to be for future.
It's just, so it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
So the question is it affordable and doable? What's the impact
That's
on
what
housing
they're
program?
reviewing right now. It's being looked
So
at.
obviously, the more money you lend for houses,
The less we can get.
less houses you'll build.
I understand that, but 3 weeks ago, we asked for a report. Only simple, I thought you look at there, $15-20 million over here. Look at our investments, how much we got invested?
Well, that's just looking at, we're doing a package around kind of affordability of increasing the
I understand all that, I
I-
understand how it all works.
But then where the money comes from, that's going to be at the table.
Okay,
That's a decision at the table.
I know that, and without looking at some of our reports, how much we got invested, here it is, how much we got invested?
Probably about $27-30 million.
But that's.
$67 million.
No, there's people in Nesbitt Burns.
If we have $27 million, well, it behooves me why we can't carve out $500,000.
Because really what's happening right now, when you decrease the investment and you need some of that interest off of that investment that BMO Nesbitt Burns, which is not the Culberson, to top up underfunded ISC programs. I mean, if you look at the lobby package, there were a number of deficit programs that we're asking the department to cover.
Yeah.
I'm not talking other programs, I'm not talking other program deficit, I'm talking housing loans.
Okay,
The recommendations last year were due up to 400,000. When I said 400, I still know it was 350, but they said other reserves, and we know it costs 450 here sometimes. It's simply a matter, can we transfer $500,000? This is the worst case scenario. Could we potentially transfer $500,000, top them up to 354, potentially if all Cheddar came back, all said, I need another 50 bill. That's $500,000. I got $20 million over here. Yes, it makes interest. But if I lend this money out, we get interest on it too.
hopefully.
Almost everybody pays in
Yes,
mortgage.
we need to have a chat about the Bank of Montreal mortgage. It's on the agenda, the private minutes.
That was like a back of legacy, years to come, watch. That's what we should do our own program, enhance our own programs, and get everything over there, because one day, interest rates are going to double digit. You guarantee 100 loans up there, all of a sudden interest rate double, and come back here, oh, yeah, we're gonna do it. We gotta prepare for that day, people, we're not being handcuffed by BMO.
You mean stopping it all away?
No, but encourage and support people to come through here. We had this discussion on when the bank, over here, yeah. At the end of the day, I said, overall, historically, the last 10 years, how much we made on that money? It said 5%. Best case scenario, we're getting what? 6 on us?
Still 5.
5. That's best case scenario. So we invest, we get 5%. We lend it, we get at least 5%.
So if you lend us the full, all, don't have any people that's returns and you put it all into the housing.
I didn't say it all, don't get screamed out.
No, but if you did that, to be able to make it doable, okay? Because if we didn't have that Bank of Montreal guarantee program, there'd be an awful lot of people on that wait list. That wait list would be as long as your arm and legs. So that took a lot of people off the wait list that could afford a mortgage somewhere, and it helped them at least build a house. But it put a lot of pressure on the other infrastructure too. They need to accelerate the water, the sewer, the roads, everything had to be upgraded.
Unless we're perspective, when we entertained BMO, we never had these investments that we could have used. We're not gonna compare.
Yeah. But anyway, I guess, when will the information be back to council, Sherry?
I'm going to say on our next. She
So,
was
Chris?
actually in the process of getting all that together.
Okay, so anyway,
All the
the financial assessment to both the affordability, the
Yep.
impact on the housing,
Yep.
if you decrease the investment, what's the impact on other programs that depend on that level of revenue and interest to support the program, and then do we cut some programs? I mean, all of it has to be assessed. I don't know what the answer is, but it needs to be looked at carefully. So we are hoping this year we can get some of these ISC deficits covered, but there's a number of them, and it's a lot of money. And it's all in your briefing packages, the lobby packages that we lobbied with the department on the 18th of June and on the 22nd of July, and we will be lobbying them again on the 13th of August. Tuesday.
Yeah, it's not tomorrow.
It's already been sent around, the 13th of August. 13th of
When is
August.
August 13th?
August 13th from 1 to 4. All right, so the next item, so there's no business then arising from the minutes other than what's already been discussed. So we'll note in the minutes that the motion 10, to increase the mortgages to $400,000 will be on the next agenda with a report from the finance department. That will be noted in the minutes. The upcoming meetings. So we have the ISC lobby on the 13th of August. Who is going to attend?
Myself,
Linda?
Me.
Linda's going. I'm going to go.
She,
Curtis. Any of the others available to go or not?
No, not me.
Chris is not available. You available, Chris, or not?
Where is it?
O'Guire will go?
Well,
he said he wasn't sure yet.
oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 of us going again, for sure. And do you want to join by Zoom?
I would like to join my Zoom with that.
Sherry by Zoom?
And Todd would also be joining.
Todd has to.
Actually, this meeting is very much focused on Todd's area with the water situation, so.
So anyway, the lawyer will be on there to ask us if we're going to become part of this class action lawsuit, and if we want to use the dispute resolution mechanism. No, we said we would be part of the new class action lawsuit from 2021 to 2024, but there's a dispute resolution mechanism in the minute of settlement. And so depending on the lawyer who's David Fairbairn from the Department of Justice, he's going to give a report on the 13th of August at that joint meeting with the department and the council on what the department's going to do, because the $6 billion is already committed. So there's no money available in the budget that Indigenous Services Canada has, especially in the Ontario region, to fulfill what the settlement agreement requires. And so we're going to get feedback from the Department of Justice. How do they interpret that obligation in the minutes of settlement? And so then they're going to ask us, do we want to trigger the dispute mechanism process? So I'll need instructions from the council. So it's very, very important for you to hear what the lawyers have to say about this, so you can make an informed decision. It's a very important issue. There's 226 homes yet that are not serviced with water on the unserviced area. We are in climate change. We can have droughts. We can have floods. We can have overland flooding at times. There isn't a deadline, but at the same time, if we're going to use the mechanism, we have to make a council decision. And so the advisory committee said they would pay the MBQ's legal costs for that, so it wouldn't cost us to trigger the dispute resolution, but I would still need instruction from council. Chris,
So-
Chris,
You said 6 billion, right?
it's 6 billion.
But that was the floor, right?
That was the floor, not the ceiling, but still, they don't have,
But
any-
you're not making a decision.
they don't know how or what they need to do to get additional money by going back to the treasury or memorandum of cabinet or
So
what.
that's why we.
So the idea is to tell us what it is they're prepared to do.
Hurry up.
Are you taking the train up or is it?
Go travel whatever you want.
We usually take the
I like
train.
I'm gonna drive
Curtis and I
because
take the
I
train.
like to come back when the meeting's done.
Yeah, if we're worried on going, yeah, right?
You can take the train up.
Okay, yeah.
Where is that meeting? Where?
655 Bay Street
55 days.
from you.
But anyway, I'll have Kevin Hills, the lawyer from OKT Law. He will give us a brief, I'll ask him for a brief, he has been in communication with the Department of Justice. And so they committed that they would give us an answer on the 13th of August. And the department will have a follow-up on what items of the department of the deficit they can cover. So we need to review those packages and prepare a letter of the items we want an answer on. Yeah, well, the first tab, there's some in the first, they did get a hold of Todd. Todd has got to do a submission for the peatland expansion. So Nico, Paul, and Todd have been in communication about that on the infrastructure side. So that's in the works. But all these deficits, contribution to the fire hall, they have contributed to building fire halls, by the way. And yet we're funding all of ours.
So we're looking for an
He
answer
tried to
from
skip it,
them.
and I said, I thought,
So we,
I'm not sure, Chief, what you're wanting for package.
all of the items we don't have an answer on.
So it's all the information that's already.
Just like an agenda, what the ask was and what's the answer.
of our last package that we just did.
That's July 22nd, I have one in my, everybody's got a binder.
Yes, they do.
Do you have a binder, Chris?
And here are,
They
all got binders.
they made binders for everybody. I took them all the way to Toronto and the council didn't show up, so I left some of them there.
Yes,
Yeah,
and I didn't bring mine home. I just left it there because I didn't know how I was
Probably
supposed to
fine.
bring it.
As far as I knew, it's just following up with items that
No,
were already.
we got,
Yeah.
we got them up there.
I know, but I don't want to sift through a whole lot of people. I just wanted one sheet, we'll go through it, I'll send it to them and say, these are the items we want answers for. You just have to flip through the tabs. It's not,
You're in
I
your
really want
council
Charlie to
yeah, I will. We'll do that.
please.
I'll work with them to do that.
Charlie, I think we'll be meeting, so I can get a hard copy, give you a hard copy, you get a chance. 4:13.
You too? Chris, was that real?
Yes, sure.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
But I want you to read it. And understand what's in it. If you don't understand it, give me a call. I mean it.
It's all
I
the
think
way.
it'll also help you get.
The other thing, like, it's affecting,
That our administration does on some of
and the other thing, the need, and the other thing, there's a need for educational assistance at the school because of the diagnosis that some of the children have, so it's important, it's affecting our education system.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of important issues there. The peatland system is at capacity, they need educational assistance at the school, people need water, we need housing. There are deficits that we are incurring because of chronic underfunding. We need answers to these questions. It's council's responsibility to be advocates for the community, to get the resources that we need. That's our job. That's what we ran for office for. So we need to show our face and say this is important to the community and we'd like some answers. So that's pretty much it.
As I said, the staff did a pretty good in those lines.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy.
It's a lot of work that
It is.
So
you're.
I've identified,
It's very
I went to the
detailed.
staff to identify the issues and I said, this is what you need the background.
It was-
The other thing that's outstanding, Sherry, is I've asked Todd's area, he's working on it, to get a summary of all of the water needs and what those reports said. There's the RJ Burnside reports in the 1990s. There's the Kevin Shipley pump well test in Channel. There's a letter from Health Canada, don't drill any more wells in Channel because of the low yielding water table. There's the water tracks reports outlining the contamination issues. then there's the FNES studies.
So Todd is aware that
He is,
compiled.
but, so I need that done soon, because they've lost sight of all these studies that they've funded. So we gotta put it before them. The other thing I did have, let council know, I did have a phone call from Premier Ford on Monday. And I asked him, I followed up with him, he did call back, and I said, the chiefs are looking for a copy of an answer to the provincial investment on housing and infrastructure. That we tabled a report with him back in January of 2023, and he said, at that time, he said he would help. And then we followed up again in June of 2023, and again, he reconfirmed that they would help. And I said, and he asked us for a proposal. We gave him that proposal in February this year, and we still haven't had an answer. So he did say he would have Rickford call me back, and Rickford did call me back yesterday, and he's going to talk to Paul Calandra about it. And so it doesn't look like they've done a lot of work on it, so we'll see what their final answer will be. I've communicated with the new regional chief, Abram Benedict, and Linda DeBossi, and I'll be updating, and I talked with Joel about it as well. And what I pointed out to them, I said, the op reserve is getting $4 billion in housing investments over a number of years, and its First Nations are only getting 918 million over a number of years. So I said, there's a heavy investment going provincially off reserve, but we don't seem to see the same level of investment coming on reserve for housing infrastructure. And these are critical needs, because there's many places, including here, where we're running out of places to build houses. So we have to get on with business. If we're going to satisfy these needs, then we have to lobby for that money and point these anomalies out to them. Chris?
Sorry, wait for my name to be mentioned up. 2 years back, you Chase was successful in lobbying him to remove that attacking on our hydro bills.
The Chiefs Committee on Energy.
Right, so my question is that typically an agreement with this premier? That he can pull if we...
They approved a budget. They approved a budget, and this government did approve a budget again this year to carry on with it. But it'll be up to the government to continue that. It's not a treaty right. It's a program, and so programs can be pulled and cut at any time at the whim of the government.
So that's my concern, and I'm not sure if health should the same concern, is that if we only have a gentleman's agreement with the premier, that he...
No, it's not a gentleman's agreement. There is an agreement.
But you say this year...
It's a tax,
that's not a law.
okay, it's not a law. It's not a law, but it has to be put into the budget. And once they put it into the budget, and the law is, because the budget is a law for that term, and that's how it always works. Every program is like that.
Okay, so my question is, if the Northern Chiefs, the Rim of Fire, things like cyber, could the premier pull a pin on every one of our houses would be suspect? If he wanted to.
They could, Polyamorous term is, I understand it. No, but the premier, they could do that, and so could the federal government do that.
So the council, we could at some point, all of our households, hydro going double. So we have what our seniors and grass cutting, teams compared to everybody's hydro bills.
And I'm going to tell you, the committee we went to many, many meetings to make that happen. And right now, it's accepted by the cabinet, and so that's part of now how they conduct business. It's part of the programming.
Thanks for clarifying.
So it's part of the ongoing program that the government supports, and so they did continue supporting it from that time on. It's around $2 million a year for that to pay for that. So there's a budget, or is it 20 million a year, something like that? Must 20 million for the no 20 it's $20 million, something like that. I forget what the number is, but there was a budget. It's a tax measure, because right now the Hydro One gets reimbursed those taxes by the Ontario Minister of Finance. So really, the Minister of Finance is paying the tax, the delivery charge.
That's really scary to me.
And so how this happened, when there was Chiefs Days, at the first meeting we had of Chiefs Days in the legislature, Derek Dokas chased me down the hallway at the chief's office, and he said, "Chief, can I get you to speak on the energy file today?" He said the chief didn't show up. that's supposed to speak to her. I said, well, when? Today. I said, you've got to be kidding me. We were getting in the taxi going on our way over to Queen's Park, so I got my yellow parlayed and started cram reading this thing in the taxi.
Was it this year?
No, it was a few years ago when the idea was put to the government. And so actually Brad Dogood was a minister. He wants to come and visit with me here, so he's scheduling an appointment sometime in August. Brad Dogood was one of the key ministers. One of the key ministers that supported that. And so anyway, it wasn't in the script. And but I brought it, I went out on a limb and brought it up, and the chiefs just looked at me, you're gonna get us kicked out of here. And so I said, when we look about hydro, I said, I see that, the First Nations people were the last to get hydro. I said, most people wouldn't believe it if I told you that I did my homework when I was a kid in a coal oil lamp. And I said, in a house that didn't have hydro, and I said, and the reserves were the last communities to get hydro lines built. And I said, when they did, they had to pay the highest hydro rate when there was hydro rates for different regions. We had the rural rate, which was higher. And I said, you haven't compensated us for the use of our traditional lands for these hydro transmission lines. You've used our resources, the waterways, the land for the transmission lines to supply the public. And I said, and our people were not treated properly in that process. I said, so we're talking about reconciliation. So I wonder if there could be a special hydro rate for First Nations people. I said, there's a lot of poverty on reserves. And he said, well, we wouldn't know how to do that, Chief. And I said, well, maybe you could start with exempting the delivery charge. And they chuckled and laughed, and they had a little smirk on their face. I said, no, I'm asking you a serious question, and I would like a serious answer. And so they said, well, Chief, could we take a break and we'll talk about it? And when they came in, and then they said they would look into it, and they would let's see what they could do. And so then from then the chiefs started to lobby, Chief Ava Hill and Chief Elaine Johnson, myself, Chief Nipissing, he lobbied as well. So then we had our committee, then we had ongoing regular meetings with them, with the Energy Committee to push this idea of the delivery charge exemption. Then finally the government agreed to do it, and they provided a budget, and then Hydro One gets paid back the whatever that amount is for that as a tax measure. Chris?
You need council concurrence for you to fight them? You convene it?
No, he's just coming to take me out for lunch. It's not he probably wants to pick my brain for some ideas because he's a consultant now. He was a former cabinet minister.
Okay, when we come in, we should have our swag by then.
Yep.
Maybe a jacket for them, or when we talk about swag. Oh, you didn't know, we talked about swag when we went to the fish hatchery. So there will be people.
And somebody wants to do
Yes.
swag?
So anyhow, we need. Anyway, we need to, some of the Jews communities do give out some pretty nice gifts though, but but the only thing with these bags and stuff, I wish they'd quit doing that. My closet is right full of them, and I don't know what to do with so many. So if anybody needs any of those bags, if anybody needs bags, just help yourself what's in my closet, take them.
Yeah, something a little more than just a pen.
Yeah.
This is the first time hearing of this, so I don't know if somebody's been tasked with this.
There hasn't, nobody's been
I
tasked.
think nobody was passed in this area. I think it just got mentioned around.
So then
Just-
it needs to get ordered.
Okay.
We need to get something to do that.
But at the same time, when they're,
Something that the people will actually use, like a Yeti cup, like we have our emblem on our Yeti cups. That'd be a great gift, because everybody drinks coffee or water. They drink whatever it is, like a little something more than just a pen or a pin.
they get a pin, a cup, and a pin.
Yeah, one of those days.
Well, I'm gonna have to look at what kind of budget we have.
And sometimes you can,
Well, a couple
What
thousand.
we just
that
talked
goes
about.
pretty quick when you're ordering Cokes
Yeah,
and things.
yeah,
like
but-
that.
But did we not just talk about how many millions of dollars in a bank account? It's not gonna.
The reason why we're getting millions and it's growing is because we don't touch it.
Well, yeah, but you still gotta use it sometime.
Yeah.
You just can't keep growing and go without. You gotta use it and let it still grow, but you don't take all of it. So you, no, you don't have to.
Anyway, okay, anyway, the gifts are not on the agenda, so let's get back to our agenda.
Yes.
We're rambling here.
Chief, there
I
is,
mean, I'll have a list as long
So
as
the
my
upcoming
daughter
meetings-
and I leave here.
okay, what's our other meeting outside?
Okay, so we got who's going on August 13th.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris, you'll let us know then? If you're going to attend?
Yes.
Anyway, I won't budget.
Well, what is?
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. By train. Hopefully the train won't be late and you get there on time.
We try our best.
Hey, it was a long walk and it's hard to find a cab.
Oh, at Union Station, it's hard to get a
I
cab.
usually take the 6:30, 7 o'clock train
Charlie, can you call,
The last one she went in.
for the 9 o'clock meeting.
Oh, is
that one? Well, then I should.
Oh, when you-
I use 2 hours. I always give myself 2 hours.
Order an Uber.
I'm gonna look today and we'll look together.
I didn't realize that the girls that.
But he doesn't want to know what my ticket I got, so he tries to get the same schedule. as me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. And we always take business class.
Charlie, what's on with our internet down?
We take business class. Yeah.
David, it's John Raffles,
And I'm a member
It's fine
now.
for today at noon or tomorrow. My appointment? Just hold on.
Mm-hmm. We taking a break?
We're live streaming. We're still live streaming. Yeah. And how? Still.
We should look on the camera.
I don't know.
I never done this.
So we're like waiting.
Yeah, because the only other outside meeting that I have and the chief is we have the Hassab meeting with the province.
Is that shortly?
Yes. August sometime.
August?
I think it's like August, I want to say the 28th. What I want to say is the 22nd. I can't remember what they said. And it's only for one day. It's just a 1 day in person. You got that, Joe? Does he have it on his? Like on his calendar at all? Oh, okay.
Chief's on the phone.
Well, they don't have it in my damn calendar.
Can I see the agenda? Get into. I don't know, I tried every password and my telephone's at home.
Because I need this.
On?
August 23rd.
Get a pass.
Cool, but
It's on. Right.
Hmm?
Try again. This is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one on the it's on the 23rd, it's the top in-person meeting with AIA.
No,
Did you shift up with everything?
I'm just going home. I'm just gonna go home and get my telephone is at home, so.
Okay, I just had to clarify an appointment because it is tomorrow.
Oh, it's all right.
Okay, we'll get back to our agenda.
Where's Bruce?
He can't do it.
Yeah, we're just trying to confirm our outside.
I want to see him, he can't go.
Okay, that's what I,
I
thank you,
need my
Charlie.
telephone. Oh, my MBQ, I'm charging.
So on August 8th, there's a call, a Zoom call for a season wildfire update. And on the 9th, we have the AI his Health Social Advisory Board Emergency Management Funding. It'll be a Zoom call. There'll be a meeting at 1:00 where the Consular General for the United Kingdom is going to come here sometime in September, and so we're just it's a planning meeting. I'll be discussing that with the staff. And then we have on the 12th is clear. 13th, it's clear. Pardon me, 13th, we have an in-person meeting, an open call for exploring potential policy program or legislative measures to introduce efficiency to the high-frequency rail. It's a project that so staff can join that if they want to, but we have the IFC meeting on Tuesday from 1 till 4. That's a lobby meeting. Then we have local business on the 14th at 7 o'clock. Is anybody scheduled? Anybody know if anybody's scheduled?
Not as far as I know, you know.
Sherry, do you know if anybody's scheduled for the 14th for local business?
At this point, I don't know.
Okay,
Shelley will be back on Monday, so.
okay. So just let council know then. The 20th, that's so good. On the 21st is the newsletter deadline. And then we have a meeting at, regular council meeting is the 21st. And we have the TMC is a regular council meeting. Then we had 11 o'clock, CN is coming in about their Indigenous Action Plan. And then the newsletter deadline.
That's all on the 21st?
21st, yes.
Okay.
Proceed.
CN, yeah. The 23rd, I'll need a motion to go to the AI HASAB meeting.
And I will also be going.
That'll be at the Delta Airport Hotel.
Yeah,
Time doesn't matter because we're going to be here anyway.
I'll also be
It's a
joining you with that
Regular
too.
council meeting
So
day.
that's Chief
so
and Linda.
They're just going to be here to present.
And then the 26th, there's an AI Chiefs Council meeting on the 26th,
Can I go to that?
if you want to.
No,
Where's the
my hip surgery is that day.
Chief council meeting on the 26th.
26th.
And that's going to be in Hiawatha.
That's just for chiefs, right?
You can go and listen in.
No, I'm okay.
And then the Iroquois Caucus General Assembly is on the 27th at Oneida. Is that canceled? Because I get these
No.
messages it's canceled.
No, it's not.
Because how do these messages come up in the phone that it's canceled? We need to check with Bryce with that. The same thing happened with
Aquasaki
me,
got canceled, Chief.
29th.
So is that the one that got canceled? Was the Aquasasi? So this one's in Oneida?
Yep.
And how long is that, Chris?
Because
27
it
to
gets
what?
confusing when you get these messages that it's canceled. So those are the meetings for the rest of August.
And the Oneida chief, is that the 27 till?
28.
27th to 28th is the harvesting group, and then the
28th and 29th.
27th is the
No, just 28. Yes.
Well, what is it? Harvest Summit by Zoom. It's on the 28th. And then there was.
So then we need a motion then to approve the August 13th. People attending the Indigenous Services Canada lobby meeting. That will be myself, Chief Miracle, Linda will be going, Curtis will be going, Aguari is going, and Chris Miracle will attend, and Sherry and Todd will join by Zoom. Then for on the I need a motion to, Linda and I need a motion to go to the HASAB meeting at the Delta Airport on September,
Oh, no,
August-
August 23rd, chief.
August what?
August 23rd,
23rd?
yes.
I'll second Chris's
And then
motion.
do we need a motion for me to attend the Hiawatha AI Chiefs Council? That's on the 26th.
Motion. I'll second it. So we've motioned all of them.
Chris Miracle and Chris Brandt.
Yeah.
It's moved by Chris Miracle and seconded by Chris Brandt. I've written it all down here, Charlie. Number 4, meetings to occur in September. So take out your phones. Do all of you have this feature on your cell phones, the calendars?
Yes, I do.
Okay, do you know how to use it?
No.
Okay, Sherry, can we get some training for the counselors on how to use that calendar feature in their
I'll
site?
figure it out.
Bryce can show you. It's easy. You get an invite, and all you got to do is press accept, and it will automatically appear in
Yeah,
your
and
calendar.
I do that. I do that.
That's all you-
That I already know how to do that part. It's just sometimes when somebody says they're gonna put something in my calendar and they forget, then when I'm going through my calendar, I forget about it, and if it's not there.
Look at your calendar every morning, and that tells you what you got to do that
I do.
day. So anyway, on September the 4th is the Aboriginal Labor Force Development meeting, the LDM meeting, and then the LOTC board meeting is going to occur at 3 o'clock. So if we're done, we should be done by council, so I can go to the board meeting. Where is that board meeting going to be?
Typically there, aren't they? No, I think
I
they are.
believe,
I think so, man. This-
oh, it's gonna be here,
I-
Or is it at Randall?
down where,
They had the annual meeting down here, but they usually have a meeting back at Rama in September.
Brenda? I don't know.
Just send Sam a text and ask her where's the meeting going to be? Because that's the same day as
I don't-
that's what they're proposing for council. Or do you want to have it on the 3rd instead, in case? If they're having it down here, I can do both. Just go to the 18th while we're waiting for clarity on that. 18th is good. And all you got to do is just put TM3 regular. Add. And it appears in your calendar.
I don't have anything.
The 11th is local council at 7. Is everybody good with that? It's the 4th and the 18th at 9:30. It's on the agenda sheet. We're just verifying now whether the 3rd is good. And the 25th. Local? Yeah. The 20, is everybody good with the 25th?
Mm-hmm.
The 25th of September?
Yeah.
Well, what about that Oneida thing? Then we have something to do, and if I have Oneida in my calendar, I don't want 25th to 27th of September. Is that what they proposed we were gonna do instead of for Oneida?
So that's not going to work then if that's when the meeting is going to be.
Oh, okay.
So do you want to have it the 24th then?
Well, 25th is good because I think
What's that?
You don't have anything for Oneida in September?
I've got the
Let's
20,
say for night.
Yes,
No.
because it was the proposed date, right? Is that where I'm getting confused, where they proposed to have it in September 1st and then we,
You know, September was supposed to be like Sosnick for your caucus.
okay.
Okay, and that got postponed for some reason from Sosnick.
Okay, well, while we sort out all this confusion about the meetings with Iroquois caucus, why don't we schedule the local meeting on the 24th just in case there's something else?
okay. I'm good.
Does that sound good to council?
Sure.
So that will be TMC local on the 24th?
And then we might not even have it when we don't.
Okay. Go to October. The first meeting would be the regular council meeting would be at 9 o'clock in the morning on the 2nd. Could we have that on the first, because I have another meeting in the afternoon from 1 to 5. Is council good for the first?
I'm good for the first.
So let's change that to the first. TMC regular. The first,
And they're having, it's at 9 o'clock?
yeah, 9:30.
Oh, 9:30, okay.
Then the next the newsletter deadline is on the 16th of October. 16th is good for regular. And for the 9th, is that good for local business? Good for mine. Everybody good with that?
Good.
Any problems with that, with anybody?
No,
Okay. Tonight, that's, and the 23rd, is that good for local?
good at that.
October.
Okay, could we move that to the 22nd, because I have another commitment on that day. The local meeting on the 22nd?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, right?
Local. On the 22nd?
Did we miss the
Nine-
16th of October? for
Uh,
regular?
No, they said it was
No.
good.
Okay, it's good.
TMC regular is on the 1st and on the 16th. And then local on the 9th and the 22nd.
So then the meetings, what about the 4th of September? Where is that meeting going to be, Sherry?
She hasn't responded yet.
Okay, I'll give her a call.
Welcome to Aboriginal Labor Force Development Circle. If you know the... Please enter the first few letters of the person's name.
Sherry, just a note. My hip surgery, 26th of August. So for the first, whatever, couple weeks, we'll see how I'm getting around. But if I come in for council, I'll be bringing in a different type of chair so that but I'll have to get up and be moving around all the time.
Hi, Sam, how are you? Good. Good. The meeting on the 4th of September, is that going to be here, the board meeting? The board meeting, can you hear now? The board meeting on the 4th of September, is that going to be here or is that somewhere else? I'll go step outside.
How long will your surgery be, Chris?
It's just a day, but I have to stay overnight.
Oh, okay. It's not too
But
bad.
I'll be taking whatever, and if I can't make it in here, I'll be on Zoom anyway, as much as possible.
Rama?
So could we have the meeting then on the 3rd, the regular meeting on the 3rd?
Of September?
That'll be the day after Labor Day. Is that good?
Yes.
See regular? Nine thirty? Okay, so the regular council meetings then are September the 3rd and the 18th at 9:30. The local council meetings in September are the 11th and 24th at 7 o'clock. The regular council meeting will be the 1st of October and the 16th of October. The local council meetings will be the 9th and 22nd of October at 7 p.m. Is there a motion to approve those dates?
I'll motion that, Chief.
Second.
So Chris Brandt. And you second it, Curtis?
Yes.
And Curtis? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, the motion is carried. The council has an invitation from the St. Lawrence College, and this is there is a gathering there called Wiping Away the Tears from the Shadows to Reconciliation. It will be a space for shared experience and understanding and deep commitment to acknowledging the healing, the wounds of the past. We aspire to foster a path of collective healing and genuine reconciliation. So the event will take place at St. Lawrence College on Friday, August the 30th. They'd like to know who's coming, and I guess the staff would let Carrie Twilliger know, and the phone number is there if you're going to attend. So we need to know who will attend on August the 30th at St. Lawrence College.
I'm looking at the agenda sheet and it's saying it's on Tuesday, October 8th.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
August. I think, so this was canceled, like this, and then rescheduled.
No, but pardon me, it is on October the 8th, so we have to let her know by August 30th.
Yes.
So August the 8th is the date of the event at 2 p.m. at St. Lawrence College. So who's available to go? Take out your calendars. It's on a Sunday.
It's on Tuesday, October the 8th.
Oh, wait, no, pardon me, October, Tuesday. Pardon me, my apologies, October the 8th. Tuesday, October the 8th. Who's available? I will attend.
Tuesday, October.
I
8th.
can't.
Anybody else can go?
And that's at St.
Curtis, I
Lawrence.
got you down, Curtis. St.
Yes,
Lawrence
but-
College.
St. Lawrence College.
It's important because to let them know you're attending, because you get acknowledged when you're there.
Can I give you a question mark? I'll have to see what kind of shape I'm in.
Yeah,
after,
okay.
So,
So Chris Brandt, maybe.
yeah. And what time was that at?
2.
2 o'clock.
Anyway, just let us know. You're gonna go, Chris, or not?
If I'm not going to see my daughter in BC,
Okay,
I'll be going. And
well, just let us know then.
yeah, Chief, may I make a suggestion or request?
Sure.
That a letter go to these folks under your signature acknowledging their donation to the powwow.
There, no, okay.
Because that college is donating money to the powwow.
Are they? Okay, so I don't know who gets that money.
It goes to the powwow.
But on behalf of the community. it's-
Okay, how much did they donate? I don't know the amount.
We haven't found out yet, but we just.
I think the powwow committee should be issuing letters of thanks.
As
Just
well
in case they
as
don't.
well
Yeah,
as like, because
Thank yous.
it's,
I
So
just want to
from
know
the
I
chief's
just would like to know that they received the money and what the amount is, so I can know what to put in the.
can we contact Ainsley? Louine will have that information.
Yeah, and I'll probably have that information because I'll be doing the books on the weekend.
Yeah, okay.
You're doing
Well,
the.
there you go.
Good, well, then just let Charlie know what the amount is. And
I
then
will.
Well, Charlie will send you a thank you letter.
Thanks, Chief.
Okay,
Because I work the gate money.
just note
and-
that we're just sending a thank you letter for the
all
donation to the powwow
stuff, So I
committee.
helped them with that.
St. Lawrence is donating money to the powwow, which prompted us.
And Linda will give you the amount. Okay. So can we have a motion then to approve those people going? So Curtis and I are confirmed, and Chris Brandt.
I'll move, Chief.
You're gonna go, Linda?
No, not the one, I can't, I have a doctor's appointment at the same time at
On the
2
8th of
o'clock.
August? Okay, that's fine. So I will be attending, Curtis will attend, and then Chris, the
8th
two
of
Chris's
October, right?
will let us know.
I'll be in Kingston, but I'll be at the
8th of
KGH.
October.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, because he
But
just
you can
said,
ask the other two also, like, before, we can all send them an email.
And then we'll check with Aaron and Guari to see if they're going to
Mhm.
go. So who'll move that?
Linda.
Linda, who will second it?
I'll second it.
Chris Brandt. So we need a discussion on the Doug Ford government has approved the sale of alcohol in convenience stores and grocery stores. And so there are people in the community that want to have the same privilege to bolster their business as well. And council, in order for them to do that, they need to have a draft council resolution accompanying their application to the government to get that approval to do that. It must include the store name, the store owner, the store address. It's located on the Tyendinaga Mohawk territory, and they need to have the Mohawk Council resolution approving the store to sell, to be licensed to sell alcohol. So how does council want to deal with this issue? I know we've talked about it before. A business owner came about a year ago to ask council for this, and he's never got an answer. Chris?
I'm not sure if this question's been asked or not, but who monitors regarding underage intoxication?
The liquor inspector will do it, the same thing that they're already doing now. So if you have to take out a special permit to have alcohol at the community center. The reserve has been a wet reserve since about 1967 or 68, 67. It's been wet. And so alcohol is allowed to have, you had to have a special liquor license to have alcohol at the dances at the community center. So that has been going on for years, and they would buy it. And then depending on the size of your gathering, that determines how much alcohol you can have. But these are to sell beer and basically wine in the stores.
So a precedent's been set that we accept a provincial inspector to come on.
That's part of the deal. The liquor
But I mean-
inspector, the liquor license inspector has to be able to inspect any places where alcohol is sold pursuant to a provincial permit.
Okay, but we've already, or historically, that's.
Well, it's been going on now since 1967.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've been at the councils.
Have they?
Oh, yeah.
Have
And
they?
the fire department, when they had the beer tent at the fair, they'd have to take out a liquor permit.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
they don't have to tell you to come, but they can show up.
okay, and no one's come to council, hey, welcome these,
Yeah, no.
okay, okay, I'm good, yeah.
Otherwise, you can't buy
Right.
alcohol.
Yeah.
And has there been any pushback regarding that fee being implied as a tax?
And there was a few years ago, what I recall, Clifford Miracle when he had the restaurant, he sold liquor there when he opened his restaurant, and there was a raid or something, and I don't know whether he got a liquor permit or what happened there, but that they did raid that place. And then there have been other restaurant owners have asked to sell alcohol in their restaurant with their meals. If you go off the reserve, that's normal.
Mhm.
But I guess on reserve that we haven't dealt with that.
Okay, so-
Other than to say alcohol could be. at a
I think it'd be okay, from my point of view, as long as those business owners have a strict, they ask for identification. If they don't know the young people that they do follow the rules and regulations, and also that they belong to the SMART program, I guess it is, that those Smart Serve. Thanks, Linda.
I'm
That
a
each-
member of that.
and each one of those businesses that are serving alcohol belong to that particular
I agree.
association or whatever they are.
There will be, I mean, the whole community will not be in favor of it because we do have addiction issues, okay? So some people are going to say,
We're always going to have pros and cons, and you can't satisfy 100% of the people 100% of the time. If it's like we've got, yeah, we're adjusting with time and the
And
changes.
we're talking about trying to build tourism here. So we have situations now where we have people who come to the community, but there is no place where they can go and have a meal, where they could have, their wine or their beer with their meal. So, and we don't even have hardly any restaurants even operating in our community.
So anyway, it's part of economic development, but just keep in mind, because the question was asked by the council, was there any pushback? There will be because of addiction issues. So you're never going to have 100% of people behind anything. Go ahead, Curtis.
What was that?
Do you have a question?
I do, you're done.
Go ahead.
No, finish.
No, I finished. I answered the council's question. There'll always be people who disagree. Some will
So
agree,
these
some won't.
people, that we wanted to make a little application so that we had it, right? Okay, so that we had a handle on what post. But in saying that, these people that are applying for this from the government, they have to adhere to a strict policy
Yeah.
of that. And it's the same thing as them selling cigarettes. Now, if you want to go back to addiction issues, then we shouldn't have like 52 pot shops either. So like it goes, it's hand in hand.
Yeah.
So it doesn't much matter. But in saying that, they have to go through such a strict process of that. Like you have to have certain kinds. You got to have some food. You know what I mean. You got to have like a little bit of grocery. You can't just sell this.
Yeah,
This-
but this is convenience stores and grocery stores.
Exactly. That's what I'm
So
saying.
they won't be consuming there.
No.
But if it's be broadened to restaurants, then we should put that in our resolution.
But in saying that too, like you said, like Chris said, the Smart Serve, that is all in their process. You have to have that. And this particular person that applied for that, like you said a year ago, their application's been on the shelf and already approved from Ontario, but they can't do it because we.
They don't have a resolution.
We didn't allow it. But now we're saying that, okay, well, changing times and this is what we're doing.
I will make a motion that we do make it,
We want to know.
accessible here on the territory. As long as each and every one of these businesses that are selling, that they meet the
They
approval
have to, or
of,
they won't
that
give
they
it.
have to meet the approval of the Ontario
All the liquor
rules.
laws.
Yes, absolutely.
And so it's convenience stores.
So maybe it should be added to the business registration.
I think that's what we wanted to know who had it and, and whatever. But like I said,
And if they're not a business, they cannot just sell out of their house as a bootlegger. And saying that is, they have to be a certified business through MBQ.
Yeah.
Chief, on that topic, my question was liability. Right now, we somehow pick and choose when you have to have errors and emissions insurance and full liability insurance, because if someone doesn't have insurance, by default, we're liable. Who's the authority having jurisdiction? The province?
I don't
The
see,
province trying to wiggle out? You provide MCR that said John Doe can have it. You should have insured. John
Okay,
Doe
so
had
do you
full
want
insurance.
business insurance to be part
It
of it?
has to be.
Well,
I
I
don't
think
see
that's-
any businesses not having insurance to be a legal business.
I think
They
it's-
have to have,
it's in their process, Chris,
Yeah.
from Ontario, that they have to prove that and show it. But I can find out and I can tell you.
Okay.
But there are some businesses here that operate, but of course, they're not grocery stores and they're not convenience stores that do not have insurance that council does approve. So not all of them have business insurance.
Right, and I've asked in the past about that,
See,
errors and omissions, and we were looking at an answer back from a lawyer, and I didn't see it.
So anyway, this is really just something that's being bought wholesale and sold retail.
I would think that those, for them to be able to sell alcohol, has to prove insurance.
So anyway, Oguari did say at the last council meeting, he thought the band should open up its own store and sell the wine, beer, and liquor.
We got other things, Chief, on our plate.
That, well, if that wouldn't go through MBQ, then it would be part of the ECDEB.
But
It would have to
He
be.
did mention that.
Chris made
The
a
band
motion.
should have the monopoly on it.
So I made the motion
Okay.
that we do allow it. But also, like we said, we do take into account that they have to go through the legal
They have to follow all the Ontario
all the
liquor-
Ontario-
liquor laws.
and also be able to prove insurance of liability.
And wouldn't that insurance liability be on the business registration?
Yeah, can we look
Yeah,
at
but
the,
but there's the pot shop, the pot stores, they can't get insurance.
But they can't get registered
So-
either.
Well, that's right.
Yeah,
We
so-
can't get a business
so they
license, so
cannot sell.
that's why we can't
So
get
they
it.
cannot sell,
But-
that's what I'm
but-
saying.
But
So,
alcohol is
But these
recognized.
people who are registered, all I was saying, Chris, is that, making them doing double work for administration, it's already on the business on a registration. They can't get approved if they don't show us insurance.
yeah, can we look at the MBQ process that's been provided, because it outlines that?
Yeah, but just-
So we're jumping all over. If we can look at the wording that's being proposed to us and take a
Well,
look at that.
you can add to the council resolution the conditions. And business insurance is a wise thing to have, it's just not.
Yes, and if you look
Okay,
at,
so we're going to allow it, and the motions, well, we do approve to allow alcohol in convenience stores to alcohol for sale in convenience and grocery stores, and can we include restaurants?
And restaurants, yes,
And restaurants,
please.
as long as they follow all the Ontario liquor laws and have
Yeah,
business
'cause we don't
registration
want
with
those
MBQ and
people
business
who have
liability
businesses who
insurance.
are
That's right.
consulting.
Okay, that's fine.
Is there a seconder for that motion? Curtis Brandt?
it's in our process.
Oh, okay.
Is anyone opposed to the motion? It's
Curtis.
Curtis.
To
To allow
provide,
alcohol for sale in convenience and grocery stores and restaurants as long as the business has and follows Ontario liquor laws and have a business registration with MBQ and business liability insurance.
this is edits to the NCR wording.
Okay.
The second part of this is looking at edits to the
And that means
MBQ
that the
code.
inspector comes without notice.
As long as the community and TMC is indemnified as much as we can be covered, which is all the things you're talking about.
Well, you're never going to have full indemnity.
They're owning
Right,
their own
right.
businesses.
Well, we can show due diligence requesting it.
Like, the only thing you might want to consult the insurance to see what's an appropriate insurance amount. Sherry?
I'm sure the Ontario Alcohol and Gaming.
Yes.
On that deal. This is here also, the applicant will be required to give the info to NBQ.
Yeah.
If they are approved or denied by the province of Ontario. Might
So
not.
it's all in our process. If we look at,
So get what, Lisa and Steve?
There.
Yeah, okay.
This one tight.
Gotcha.
Bless you.
Okay, and those will be, they need an MCR for each time the business is registered. Now, the only thing we need to clarify is, does that have to be renewed, or is it good, is it a standing resolution, or is it a time-limited resolution?
I think it should be
I think
renewed
they
every
have,
year.
I think they have to apply every year, chief.
Do they?
I think.
Okay.
every year for registration, this would be a part of their registration.
Okay, so we need to clarify what is it the province needs.
So if we look at MBQ process, which is part of this, it outlines all of this.
Okay.
That's every year.
Okay, so then the next item on the agenda is there's a bail permit.
We need to review the MBQ process because they're asking for a review and approval of the process as
Yeah.
well.
So anyway, Sherry, I guess whatever needs to be on the resolution, we should have a policy on it.
Yes,
So draft up a simple policy. It doesn't have to be wordy, but a simple policy, and then we'll get it. But right now, the council's decided they're going to allow it under conditions.
okay. My understanding that was already done in previous council meetings.
I don't, we could, no, it was talked about. There were requests,
That
but they
we
were,
were
they never got an
supportive
answer.
of it, and then they put together the package
We
that
supported it. but we're
outlines
down.
the MCR and it outlines the MBQ process.
No, but all they're doing is reiterating what the province has said they need.
Kind of.
This came from the province. I don't think there's been any policy work done on this at all. Check with Lisa's shop. Okay, the next item on the agenda is from the Lands Department, and so Victor Conway Miracle has requested a bail permit for work to be done on his property. And so that the motion will read, whereas Victor Conroy Miracle holds a certificate of possession for lot 16B1 Concession 2, Canada Land Survey Record 50248, Tyendinaga Mohawk Territory. And whereas Bell Canada has equipment on the property held by Victor Conroy Miracle, and whereas Tyendinaga Mohawk has been provided with a copy of a 28-2 permit between His Majesty the King and the right of Canada and Bell Canada, therefore we resolve that the Tyendinaga Mohawk Council acknowledge and supports 28-2 with Victor Conroy Miracle. Now, this is not the Victor Miracle who's passed away, is it? That was on Bell's Road. Who is this Victor Conroy Miracle?
I don't know Victor Conroy
Wasn't there a
Miracle.
Victor-
Does anybody know Victor Conroy Miracle?
Wasn't there a Victor Miracle on?
Does he have a son named Victor?
Going back to back to the golf course. What's that?
Oh,
back?
back Wyman?
Wyman's?
Yeah, there used to be a Victor lived on the left-hand side of Wyman's.
Yeah, but he passed away though, that Victor Miracle.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, but I thought you were saying he lived on Bells.
So just make sure this Victor Miracle is, I don't think that Victor Miracle had property on Wyman's Road though. He had property back on Bell's Road. He had property on Wyman's Road, but not Bell's, as far as I
And
remember.
I thought there was a Victor lived on.
There was one time.
When then he moved?
Would be Marcel's uncle.
Yeah, right. But you saying he moved to Bells?
No, he passed away. The
Oh.
Victor Miracle on Wyman's Road passed away.
Then who's on Bells?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking. Who is this Victor Miracle at?
Who's on second?
Can you ask Bonnie to come in,
Is this-
please?
Is this fella all the way, so, oh, no, it's on Bell's, right? Yeah. I thought this fellow might have been back past that.
So this is asking for, where the Bell, an
I know.
MCR for the Bell permit.
I'm just asking, who is this Victor Miracle? So I just make sure he's not deceased. Because there's a Victor Miracle that is deceased. I presume he's not because it's on the agenda. Conway, Victor Conway Miracle.
Yeah. I have no idea what that equipment is on there.
Yeah, because on this MCR it says Victor Conway Miracle, but on the wording from Bell, it
36.
says Conroy.
024.
Yeah, there's a discrepancy there.
Yeah.
Numbers up.
We got to get it right. Is it Conway or Conroy?
This Conroy.
And one paper, and on the other one it says Conway.
Yeah, I know. It's bottom one says Con.
Well, let's just.
Let's ask the membership
So we're
clerk.
just
Well,
gonna get
yeah.
clarification.
Let's get it right.
We can't deal with it if we have two different names.
Or especially when he thinks that, maybe one.
Yes, this is not a deceased person.
Okay, the other thing is his name Victor Conway or Conroy?
Conway.
Because on the Bell permit, it says Conroy.
It was changed. It was changed to Conroy, not Conway. It was Conroy, and Bell had to change it.
His name is Conway on the
Conway.
on the membership list?
Yep.
Okay,
He lives in Nova Scotia.
okay.
And that's why we don't know him, so, because his,
I don't know when
not
he
really.
has lived here before, but he's a member of MPQ.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah.
Because there was a Victor Miracle that lived on Lyons that had passed away.
Oh no, this guy calls me a lot.
Well, that's why we don't know, that's why we don't know him, because he's not around here.
Right. Any other question for me?
And it
Is
does,
lunch ready?
it does say Conroy.
Oh, is
in
it?
the so just,
It says Victor Conroy Miracle.
but you said his name is Conway.
Conway.
Okay, let's.
So then
take that
it's
So in
out.
your
wrong
wording,
in the
it's
permit here
wrong.
because it says Conroy.
It says Conroy
Charlie,
in
if you
your
get that,
wording.
it's Conway.
Okay.
Do you want to come
Okay.
over here,
Together.
Amy?
Yeah.
Do you want to come over here?
Please, he meant to
See,
say.
it says Conroy here.
Oh, I see that. Okay.
So this is an error.
Let me ask Indigenous Services what needs to happen then, because there are 3 copies, 3 originals that were signed by Bell that they have sent me. So Bell printed this, signed it, and sent it to me, 3 copies.
So I think we better defer this.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
better till we can get
So
clarification.
can you clarify this with Indigenous Services and get back to us, and we'll bring it right away?
I can.
Okay,
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
have to get the name right.
Yes.
Now, there are business registrations for Fleet Miracle,
I'll move.
business
Um.
registration, KLM Automotive.
Chief Lunch is here.
Let's finish off this one, let's finish off these 2 permits. It's been moved by Chris.
I'll second that.
Okay. Anybody opposed? Seeing none, the motion is carried. Now Joseph Miracle, Sacred Trees.
No, moved by Chris Miracle, seconded by Chris Brandt.
So anyway, the next one is for Joseph Miracle called Sacred Trees. And it's 322 Ridge Road.
Well, that's a tree removal business, I believe it is.
So
Yes.
Who moved that first one?
Oh,
Charlie, who moved the first one? Keith, Chris Miracle,
Chris Miracle,
and the second
Chris
is
Brandt.
Chris Brandt.
And I'll move the second one, Sacred Trees.
I'll second you.
Yeah, that's a new tree removal business here.
Chris and Curtis.
Moved by Chris
Chris,
Grant,
and seconded by
seconded by
Curtis.
Curtis.
Okay, that's my job to chair the meeting, okay? Let the chair know. That's my job. Okay, we'll break for lunch then. Lunch is here.
Run home and grab my, back to you, my lunch.
Sure, whose files are they there?
That's
I know that went on and on for years. In 1989, I said, make it simple, make it easy, if you don't have a lot of
I know.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our council meeting is now back in session after the lunch hour. It is now August the 7th at 12:52 p.m. and council is now back in session. So we're at item number 10. There's a letter request from Tammy DeMille. It's a harvesting letter to permission to hunt bear, elk, deer, and moose in the Marmora Lake area, east of Thurlow Township. The application is accompanied by her status card and an updated PAL possession acquisition license. The card is attached to the briefing note. Her status and PAL card have not expired. It is recommended the council give approval to proceed with option 1 and grant permission for Tammy by signing the issue and issuing a letter. Does council approve? If so, we'll need a
Move,
motion. Chris Miracle,
Everything is up to, I'm just looking for her pal and everything.
it's up to date according to this briefing note.
I'll second it.
The firearms expires on the 29th, the 25th of January 2029. There it is. But it's been moved by Curtis, second by Curtis. Anyone? It's Chris Miracle and second by Curtis Brandt. Is anyone opposed? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, the motion is carried. The Iroquois Caucus meetings. The Iroquois Caucus meetings have been revised. The IC General Assembly will be on August the 27th in Oneida. The IC Harvest Summit will be August the 29th in Oneida. Iroquois Caucus communities are encouraged to bring 2 harvesters at community expense. The IC Strategic Planning and General Assembly originally scheduled for September now because it has been postponed. The Iroquois Caucus coordinator will provide new dates once confirmed with Akwesasne. We need to identify who's going to be attending the Iroquois Caucus and IC Summit in August. I can go on the 27th and a half a day on the 28th.
I'm there, Chief. Also,
You're going to attend, Curtis?
yes.
What day was that again, Chief?
August 27th and 28th.
In Oneida.
Oh, I would like to attend too, Chief.
Linda will attend. Anyone else? Just, we'll note those ones are attending for now, and all of council is invited, and we'll invite, part of the motion will be for council to confirm with Sherry that they're going to attend or not, and so she can make the arrangements. Don't leave hotel arrangements till the last minute because you have to pay a premium. So if you're going to go, everybody has to pay their own and make their own arrangements, right, Sherry?
I'm assuming, is that
have-
how it's been
we
done in
have
the
it.
past?
Mm-hmm.
That, or you can reach out to Shelley and Charlie can also assist with some of that. as well.
But if you book early, you'll get a better rate. If you leave it till the night before, you're going to pay through the nose.
Yeah.
Where do you normally stay when you go? To
Well-
Usually they stay at the 7 Points. That's usually cheaper.
Yeah.
In London.
It's London, but this particular one right here was supposed to be at the Lamplighter. That's where you were going to stay, and that's where the meeting was going to be. I thought it was over at the reserve, but it's not.
Okay, that's sort of in the middle of,
It's just right behind that, or right
Yeah.
beside.
okay,
The Lamplighter, it's just down the road from the Four Points.
okay.
Just,
I've never stayed there before. It's a good motel or hotel?
what's that, Lamp? Oh, yeah, it's nice.
Okay.
It was nicer than the Four Points,
Lamplighter in London?
London.
London.
So,
The meeting is
She-
at
yeah, she was, Amy Lickers was supposed to send the rest of the information.
Yeah, they'll get a better deal if they book a a
Well,
number
they
of
don't
rows.
look at, we.
Or reserve, or just tell them when people are coming, they'll quote a better rate.
Yep, 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 they do.
They'll give them a conference rate.
So
And-
Sue usually looks after that. too.
Yes, she does, yeah.
So,
It's also asking if we want to bring, you want to bring 2 harvesters.
So Chris, are you going to attend? Do you want to bring 2 harvesters? You don't know we
I'll
can
be in the
go?
hospital with my hip
Okay,
still.
so who would you recommend the harvesters to be? Who will we ask? Hunters.
A couple, we could ask, young Kevin Jr., Brant. He works for MQ anyway. You could possibly ask, Mr. Ken Claus. I don't know if he would go.
He hunts.
Yeah, you could ask, Aaron's, cousin, Schmubby? Yeah, Schmubby's, Josh Hill. Josh Miracle, sorry, not Hill, Josh Miracle.
Is traditional harvesters meant to be gill netting or any hunter?
It's hunters and gatherers. Anybody who practice exercise.
Like it-
So those are just some
Suggestions, okay.
suggestions.
So if you have other suggestions, pass them on to Sherry, then she can, or to Sue.
Sue or Shelley or Charlie can.
Sue, Cheryl, or Charlie, oh, any traditional hunters, pass them on, note that in the minutes. And they'll work with, to get 2 of them. They're sponsoring, I guess we have to sponsor 2 of them.
We're sponsoring.
Okay,
That's only the 28th, chief. That one.
the 28th, yep. So motion to approve?
I'll motion that.
I'll second.
For the Harvest Summit on the 20th.
What differentiates a hunter from a traditional harvester?
I think it's the same.
That's
No,
what-
then it's just
That's
wording.
what Dennis and them, they had named it. Traditional
same thing.
harvester, but it's the same thing.
Same thing. People
We went
who
through
hunt
this
for
in
sustenance.
Same thing.
People who hunt for sustenance is a traditional harvester or hunter,
And a hunter, I think it is pretty much the same.
as opposed to for commercial reasons.
Yeah.
One of the things that the Iroquois caucus needs to do collectively is assert a traditional territory.
Dennis and them just wanted to identify it more. How did he say that? He wanted to identify it more clear to the government to say, you know, this is our traditional, so, you know, traditional.
There should be a caucus meeting, a broader caucus meeting about traditional territory. And maybe there can be a common mind, because right now other First Nations are asserting their traditional territory, and we're going to be left off of the map if we don't do that. We're going to be confined to just the Simcoe Deed area.
And they did address some of this down in Mount too, chief, so a little bit of it, and they did last year, or in London too.
Because when the Iroquois caucus was first formed, and we had our first meeting back at Wata, I brought that up. I said, we need to draw a line on the map and assert our traditional territory, and have a meeting to come to some kind of collective thinking about that. Because right now, M&R is still issuing notices and going through the justice circle. And I have always thought that was an infringement on our rights, because our rights go beyond this small area here.
And I don't see the relationship with the Justice Circle for that.
Well, the other thing is that's what M&R had been doing when FNTI was running. Anybody, rather than have these more serious charges, it was a defer it outside of the court system there, so they wouldn't wind up with criminal records. But still, the fact is that M&R is not respecting our harvesting rights in a broader traditional area. That's what the problem is. They plan to have the deputy minister come sometime, I think, in October, to a meeting with the Iroquois caucus. That's what I've been hearing. And I've had a conversation with the deputy minister about that. That they needed to go beyond the way they're operating now and start recognizing our traditional territory.
Did he agree, chief?
Hmm?
Did he agree?
He was going to look into it with his staff. He did call back and we had a conversation. I said, this is what I see the problem being, is you don't respect our rights in a traditional territory. But part of the problem is, well, then where is it? One community will say it's here, another community will say it's over there, another it's over here. We need a collective vision as the Haudenosaunee Confederacy or the Haudenosaunee Nation.
But you gotta get all of the chiefs and councils all
Yeah.
working on the same line.
Exactly.
Quite, you know, how many of those chiefs are hunters? How many of the councilors are hunters or harvesters? And that's what you need on, in anything. They have to be active and not just, you know, not just, talking about, you know, different things. That's my point of view, but,
Yeah, I agree with the hunters being there. I totally agree with that, but the problem is where can they hunt? Not where is their game, but where is our traditional territory that our people historically have used in the past and
So-
continue to use?
So something like this, chief, shouldn't that be like for the Chiefs of Ontario? That's,
No, because the Chiefs of Ontario are not treaty rights holders. They're not Aboriginal rights. They're a political advocacy group, but again, they're not going to decide where Mohawk hunting rights are.
yeah, that's right,
That's up to the Mohawk Nation to do that.
yeah.
or is it just Mohawk?
It's Mohawk, Oneida, but
The
the Mississaugas
Saskatchewan.
act collectively, the Algonquins act collectively, the Haudenosaunee don't.
But this was all brought up too, about them being able to hunt in Quebec, same thing,
Because those
because they were getting charged for it.
those colonial borders don't define our traditional territory.
And that's what Denison have said. That doesn't define it.
So that's up to us to define it and then start the conversation with the government, because the Algonquins are settling claims, they're settling all kinds of, they're doing stuff, and we're way out in left field. And I guess, and if the traditional council wants to do it, that's okay too. But if they're not doing it, somebody's got to do it. Because we can't just have them in our calling here all the time. Well, your person is going to be charged. Can we defer it to the justice circle? Because when you have to refer, it's really like saying, okay, they're guilty.
Yeah.
So that's the problem I've always had with that process. So the other thing is the residency bylaw. The residency bylaw, the request for all versions of the residency bylaw and legal opinions, copies have been made and will be provided to you at the start of the meeting. You've got them now. Acknowledge in the minutes, Charlie, that the copies of the residency bylaws have been distributed to the council at today's meeting. Is a note in the council minutes. Attaches the chronology of files as well as motions from past council meetings. The motion documents is still in a work in progress, as there are limited motions that have been found using the search function. We will continue to review and update. Set a meeting date to discuss. So we're just looking for a date. I would say we need at least a full day or a half a day. At least a half a day.
At least.
I'm saying full, I think full day. You need time to review your material. And I'm suggesting you set aside a full day to really start to delve into this.
I think a full day would be wise, just to, put together a full day. If we come up with only a half a day or 3/4 of a day, well then fine. But we can't just say, okay, let's set up a half a day, and then it takes the whole day. Well, I think it's better to go the other way.
Plan for a whole day.
Plan for a whole day. But if we could, how quick do you want to do this? Because once again, I'm not going to be able to make it if it's sometime soon.
So what day are you going for your surgery?
26.
So let's see what's available between now and then. I have the 12th, I have the 13th, the 12th. The 12th of August looks good.
Is that enough time to review the package?
Wow, that's a lot of reading for me.
The 15th, how about the 15th?
The chief, I'm not going to be able on the 14th or 15th. I've got to be in the hospital for pre-op.
Okay, what about the 16th?
Curtis is saying no.
No?
Like,
The
at least
16th?
a couple of weeks, Chief, like.
What about the 19th?
See the size of that file?
The 19th? Or the 20th? How does that work?
Sorry,
Yep. The 19th or 20th work for council?
The 20th is better for me.
Okay, how does the 20th look?
I'll be all right with that.
Okay, Linda? Chris?
Yes.
So is there a motion then to approve the 20th then at 9:30?
I'll move, Chief.
Linda? Tuesday, August the 20th
And that's a resident.
at 9:30. I'll put it in my calendar.
perhaps we could have them send out a meeting invitation that could be dropped into their calendars.
Yeah. I would like to involve the department on the broader issue because this does talk about federal jurisdiction and the limitations of that in terms of particularly this landlord-tenant tribunal. I just think we need to find out more. It'd be like an information gathering, I think, and then what can work. And when we know what can work, then we know how we should draft our bylaw.
Well, that's a whole separate meeting, and that's gonna take me a lot more time to pull together than that.
Yeah.
That's just gonna be some planning to get all those people at the table.
Yeah, and particularly about the
Yeah.
police. The other thing is we need the police to come too. Maybe Gary Miracle to come and our police.
Yeah.
Because the police have a function, and if the only thing they can you have to arm them with is an eviction, a court order to evict somebody from a place in order to protect them from assault charges. Then we need to have a discussion that involves them too, because if that's what it is,
We're
then
gonna
we
sit
need an
down
awful
and
lot
we're
more
gonna-
money.
I think the best thing, Chief, is to sit down and compile a list of all the people that should be invited to participate in
Come to my
this.
office and we'll get the
We
list.
will.
Okay, Chris?
May I suggest that we review all this information and we have our own in-house discussions before we meet with
Yeah.
external parties?
Okay.
That's a separate issue. This is residency bylaw.
Right,
Okay.
but she's
Now-
talking
now
about the
one thing-
administrative justice, the police and this and
But
that.
that's a separate issue.
Right.
Okay, but
Just
yeah,
not first.
but still not, in order for this to work, that other process has to work as well. Otherwise, you've got a bylaw that satisfies the politics and the will of the community. But if the other administrative mechanisms like the police service doesn't work, it's not going to work. It's just words on paper. It's a toothless tiger.
Right, we agree, Chief, but we should have an in-house,
Yeah.
in-house meeting so we're all of one mind and we all understand
Okay.
what we're talking about, instead of sitting there.
When
with
you- when you-
the department and-
So that's what we're gonna do on the 20th.
Yeah, and so when you read
Just
through that,
us.
read through the documents about when you read through the documents, the bylaws that have, I think there's 17 drafts there. What has changed since that time is that the Indian Act has been amended and there's now that MRP law. That is legislated federally. And so that will affect what the content of your bylaw. And so you can't just go by that because the federal law has changed. Chris?
So can we just set a date, Chief, and then
We did that.
discuss-
We did. On the
okay?
20th?
And then we'll discuss all this at that meeting?
Yeah, August the 20th at 9:30. It's been moved by Linda and we need a seconder. We'll second it.
I moved it.
Curtis?
I said,
So anyway, this is the motion. This is the motion. The council approves to meet on Tuesday, August the 20th, 2024 at 9:30 a.m. in the council chambers to discuss the residency bylaw. It's been moved by Linda and seconded by Curtis. Is anyone opposed to meeting on August the 20th? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, the motion is carried. So put that in your calendar, Chris, August the 20th, 9:30.
Well, we gotta get an invitation out and they can drop it in their calendars.
Chris
Uh,
Miracle.
Aaron.
Wrong one?
No, it doesn't matter. They're all the
Yeah.
same.
Oh, I got yours.
Yeah.
Oh, there's names on it?
Yeah, there's names on
Right
them.
there.
Oh, I didn't know there was names on it.
We'll switch.
That's
They're all
okay.
the same.
We'll switch.
Yep, that's good.
Okay. Now we'll go on to the next item. So that motion is carried then. Now we have some amendments to our funding agreements. And so we have amendment number 71. It will provide an additional $174,404 O&M funding for First Nations Waste Management Initiative. Correspondence attached. So we want the money. We have to approve this amendment. Who will move?
I'll move it, chief.
Chris Brandt
I'll second it, Chief.
and Curtis Brandt. Anyone opposed? Seeing none, the motion is carried. I don't think there's anything we have to sign with this, is there? It's top-up funding.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah, I don't think.
So when we tell the staff and when we do our audits to look for these deficits, then get them covered, sometimes we're successful. There you are. Now, the next motion, we have an amendment here, motion amendment 72, and it's just to modify the terms and conditions only, and it's primarily about the reporting and due dates for the agreement for reports. Is there a motion to accept this?
Thank you. Where are we at, Chief?
You're on number 14.
This is for 2024-25 skills. Did you move already? Chip,
What's that?
did you move already or no? Oh, okay.
And this is just a,
No, it's the reporting, the dates your reports are due as part of your agreement. They're amending it to tell you what the dates are. Because we have to give a report to the government on, and so there's a schedule there that tells you when your secondary education report is due.
budgeted allocation and everything.
May 15th of 2025?
Final report will be due on May the 15th, 2025.
25, yeah.
It's, Dear Chief, I'm pleased to advise the Mohawks First Nation Fed's proposal for the 2024-25 First Nations and Inuit Youth Employment Strategy has been approved in the amount of $94,560 as described below. The summer work experience, 24-25, mentored workplace placement, science and technology will get $70,187, career planning promotion $24,371.13 for a total budget of $94,560. So I don't know why this is attached to this letter because it has nothing to do with the,
It says new for this year is the ability to move funding between the summer work experience and the skills link programs.
so what we should acknowledge then is that the budget is for the First Nations and Inuit Youth Employment Strategy for here is $94,560. And then we should also then, part of that motion, acknowledge and approve the amendment, modifications to the terms and conditions, which deals with reporting for the funding.
Yeah, the report on the 15th of 20.
So who will move that?
I'll move that. Yeah, I'll move that, Chief.
Chris Brandt. Who will second it?
I'll second you.
Linda? Anyone opposed? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, the motion is carried. The next item we have on the agenda is the AI Memorandum of Understanding for Health. It's please approve the agreement for 23-24, and there's a revised budget there. It's going from $152,030 to $322,444. That's the revised budget. Motion to acknowledge that, approve that?
TTO is next.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Must be in the wrong order here then.
That was.
The Mohawk Immersion Funding Agreement. Okay, so it's for 23-24. And the budget is going for $152.30 to $322 for the Mohawk Immersion Program.
Yeah.
Who will move?
I'll move that, Chief.
Chris Brandt. And who will second?
I will, Chief.
Chris Miracle.
Then the next one is TTO.
No, that was TTO.
Yeah, I was just looking at this,
So the motion will read that I sign this agreement for the period April 1st, 2023 to March 31st, 2024. Why is this late coming here? That's the last fiscal year. And the other thing, is that going to require a budget adjustment to our audit because there's more money?
No, it's the new year budget for 20.
Well, it says it's for 23-20, it says 23-24.
That was what the previous funding level was.
So do they operate on a calendar year or April to March?
April to March.
And it says this agreement shall be in effect from April 1st, 2023 to March 31st, 2024. That's passed, subject to the termination provisions of this agreement.
should we find out about if those dates are correct?
Are you looking at the briefing note? I'm not sure what.
No, I'm looking at the part that I have to sign on page 1.
Okay, let me call.
Oh,
let
the
me get
Tyendinaga Ogona Mohawk's Bay Quinte Mohawk Council Agreement now TTO 2023-24 amended.
Yeah, that's what it says, a duration of an amendment, and then the
I
arrangement
see.
shall be in effect from April the 1st.
And it says the Mohawk
2023.
Council agrees to provide $444. There's a typing mistake here, Sherry. I'll show
Yeah,
you.
I have Cecil coming in.
See the arrangement amount? It says the Mohawk Council agrees to provide up to $322,000, which is good, $404. It's $444. So should I just write that in and initial it?
I have Cecil coming in to confirm.
Because the amount is, the written out part is different than the figures by $40. It's a difference of $40. I can just write it in and initial it, Sherry.
Oh, okay then. Go for it. $322.40. $444.
Should have been 400.
That's what's in this, what I'm reading.
Do you see where the error is, Sherry?
404, it says.
Oh,
Sure got it.
So I just wrote it in and initialed it
okay, fine. Yeah, that's good.
because it's wrong. If she wants to correct it, I can sign another port.
Okay.
Okay. So it's been moved by Chris Brandt and seconded by Chris Miracle that this amendment be approved. Is anyone opposed? And presumably Cecil's put it on the amendment on the sheet. They have the money?
Yes, we do.
Anyone opposed? Seeing none, the motion's carried. The Memorandum of Agreement of Health, MBQ has been receipt of the memorandum of understanding, memorandum of agreement from AIA for the following programs: Aboriginal diabetes education, $34,562.50, health consultation, $2,250, STBBI, HIV, HCV community funding, $16,373.63, and tuberculosis community funding, $4,539.31. The recommendation is council receive and approve signing the AI memorandum of understanding for a total of $57,725.44 for these programs. Is there a mover?
I move, Chief.
No second, Chief.
Linda and Curtis. Anyone opposed? Seeing none, the motion is carried. I've signed this agreement. Done.
Excuse me.
The Bank of Montreal mortgage loan report. Please review the attached detailed briefing note. Total mortgage for June 2024. The total amount we've guaranteed is $18,027,482.68. The guaranteed amount by MBQ is 80% of the balance, which means $14,240,385.96. The total number of loans are 119. Please acknowledge the information was shared for June 24 for the unreserved BMO housing report. Is there a motion saying that you received this information?
Motion.
Acknowledge receipt of report.
Yeah, I'll second that, Chief. I'm just looking at it now. Chris and Chris.
Chris
Miracle.
Miracle and Chris Brandt.
Yeah.
Is anyone opposed? We have to have an in-camera discussion about the report too.
Yeah.
If you look at the second page there, that's why we have to have a discussion. Chris?
I'm sorry, Chief.
The Miller-Thompson legal invoices. Miller-Thompson legal invoices for June 2024. The potential partnership for Hydrostar, $767.50. Corporate matters, $2,023.73. Police Services Board, $12,122. The governance training, $4,919.85. The expenses have been incurred for the direction of council. The bill has to be paid. Is there a mover?
I'll move, Chief.
Curtis,
I'll second, Chief.
Linda, and we have funding, I think, to cover off some of these, like the Police Services Board. Sherry?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Motion's carried. The Disaster Mitigation Adaptation Project, the drinking water settlement. So when we applied for this, it was basically a $40 million project. And DMAP would pay 75% of the water project that's just been completed. And our share was 10 million. We've come in under budget for $7,086,134.60. Does council agree to pay this, to provide that, acknowledge that budget amount? I think we have a previous budget when we submitted the budget, the DMAP application, that we committed 10 million to that. And we are pushing the department. What I need is the dates when these projects started to find out if it's December 2021, because if so, we might be able to put it under the water settlement.
Yeah, in the briefing note, I think they're asking if that $4,873,349
It'll come from Open LP at this stage.
be moved to the DMAF project. That's the
No,
drinking
if you
water
look,
settlement?
if you look at, yeah. No, the DMAP is Infrastructure Canada funding,
Yes,
and that, they pay 75%, they don't pay 100%.
that's right.
So they'll pay 75% of the 38 million costs,
Mm-hmm.
which is for design, preliminary design, climate lens, contingency, construction, contract administration, and transfer to the WVSPR Phase 3 project. For
She's recommending option 1.
So MVQ received 500,000 on August 25th, 22 from Deloitte. Attaches letter, that's for signing on to the class action water settlement.
Yeah.
You had a $500,000 sign-on bonus.
Mhm.
Then plus you get an additional compensation based on the number of claims that the members make,
Which
individual claims. And that we have received a check for $4,365,747.63 on March the 5th,
Yeah.
2024 from Deloitte. And so
Right.
the letter and check is attached. And so then the option 1, that total DMAP project cost was $38,296.50. There are some expenses, $43,063.75 in 2024 as the end of July. Below is the DMAP project as March 2024. It's option 1. Option 2 is MB covers the balance contribution towards the DMAP project as of March 31st, 2024, entirely through the Open LP funding, which would be $7,086,000.
Yeah, that would be the short.
$134.66. Impact Open LP funds would need to be withdrawn from the investments, which will lead to a huge fall in our investment portfolio.
I'm going to get Cecil to.
So we never had, DMAP does not pay 100% into this project. They would have with the last one, which we were not successful in the application process. We qualified, it met all the technical merits, but there was not enough money in the DMAP fund at all to cover $60 million for the additional work for the 226 houses. So that's why we believe there's an obligation under the water class action lawsuit to cover that, and so that's what we'll be talking to the department about on the 23rd of August. Right, Curtis?
Right, Chief.
Right, Linda?
That's right, Chief.
But we
So-
were successful on a couple of this, though.
Mm-hmm.
We were successful on a couple of these.
But you know, if you got $40 million worth of work done, it only cost you 77 million. That was a pretty good deal.
And is this, you know, that the water money,
And you've got this water money here too.
everybody that's applied for it in the past, I've heard just one person who's said that they never got their money, and he was told that they're out of money. And kept paying, so I don't know what.
They're
he was
still
talking
sending
about.
Not even close.
Okay.
No.
No, it's a legal obligation. They have to pay it.
Yeah.
So Cecil,
They'll get
we're looking at the DMAF.
No, they have to pay it. The individual claims have to pay the community claims because it's a court settlement.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Don't
the DMAP, so anyway, the shortfall, I guess DMAP paid 75% of the total cost of the project. We're on the hook for 10%,
Yes,
and so 10% is $7 million, right?
right, so I just want to give you 1 second while I open my working. For doing something.
121,000. So,
So in total, the infrastructure Canada gave us $30 million, 30,093,218.01. We got all that money in our bank. Now, the total project that we have right, so the total expenses, which has total to 38,053,296.50. So the deficit is total of 7,086,134.66, which is nothing but the contribution of MBQ. Like that's how the project was designed. That would be the contribution of MBQ. So the total project, which was when initially was budgeted, was for $40 million, 124,290, out of which 75% we got the money from Infrastructure Canada, and the balance was all from MBQ's contribution. But out of which we need only 7,086,000 as of now. We don't need the entire 10,031,000.
Yeah, because the project came in under budget.
Yes, but Todd do have some plans to spend the balanced budget, which is the 2 million for the like in this 24-25. So still, like I'm going to forward him that I would like that money is forwarded to him, because he do have plans to spend. There is some other expenses still to be incurred. Like the project is not completely done.
So that from out of that 2,909,000, would the Ferry Lane be a part of that?
Yes, actually there are some expenses that he
Actually,
is planning to be incurring
that
through
$1
budget.
million project is part of what we were discussing with the department. And Todd was asked to submit some kind of a documentation to Indigenous Services Canada to see if they would fund it. So let's not take it out of Wolf LP just yet till we hear from the department.
Okay, so yeah, like for now, I'm not, like the money is not going to get the 2.9 million will
Is it-
only be done only when it is spent in actual.
Yeah, the Ferry Lane project is $1 million.
Okay.
So
That's for water and sewer on that short road there.
Just an estimate. So my request for this whole agenda was that are we contributing the MBQ's contribution through investment money, or we want to use some part of it to fund the drinking water settlement?
So you're
fund?
talking about the 4 million, right?
Yes, that's what my request.
So we
was.
could use this 4 million toward that too, could we?
Yes, and then balance, we have to still take it from the investment.
Yeah, but to me, I think that water money should be used for water projects.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I cannot complete the OFNL audit until I get this decision today. Either we are using the drinking water settlement fund to cover some of the expenses, or we're using all.
Then you don't have to draw as much from the investment
Yes.
open LP.
Yes.
Now, one that came up, we have in the open, in the BMO Nesbitt Burns, we have about 27 to $30 million there.
Yes, in total.
Maybe it's at 31 million, is it?
As of last time, it's seen 29 million, but of course it changes every quarter.
Because there's interest
Yes.
coming all the time.
Yes.
And then we have 27 million in the Culberson
That is
settlement.
separate.
Yeah, there's, plus we have other bank accounts of money in that's earning 5.5%, a
Yes.
number of bank accounts.
Yes, now the percentage has come down. My last percentage that I had got from EN, which was in the month of June, we were around 5.
We're not penniless.
I'm not sure
Like we once
what
were.
it stands now, because just every time the interest rate is increasing slowly.
Yeah, so you were saying that you need council to make a motion for that money, so I think I'll make a motion that we use the drinking.
The water $4
the
million.
water, yes, for the water, this.
The water, the DMAP project.
So you all want to.
No, second that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the remainder from OF and.
Yeah, which will be 2,212,785.41 So we will also need an MCR, whenever I have to get the money back, funds back from the investment, we need to have brought on an MCR, so that I
Okay.
share that.
Cecil?
with Yeah.
The only thing we have to be sure that we know the date that the project was awarded to make sure, because I think it's December 2021 when they signed the water claim settlement. We can check with Kevin Hill on that. I have it in my notes somewhere in my book here somewhere. But anyhow, just let me see if I can look it up now.
But our DMAP project did started in 2021. We had some expenditure
right.
of 142,000 in that year.
2021.
Yeah, 2021. We started from 2021.
July 22nd.
But the major funds came in 24 and 23, like 15 million and 13 million from infrastructure.
Here it is here. So the class action was approved by the court in December 21. And it was signed on June the 21st, 2021. And Karen will conduct today, so we're seeing that the ferry lane was $1,044,581.83. And for the wastewater deficit, wastewater deficit, 1,178,39.52. Todd will send a Todd to go and all are committed to funding, reimbursing that funding. So anyway, if that water line didn't start, it started after December 2021, then that class action water settlement should apply to that. So can you find out when we awarded the contract?
Okay.
The DMAP contract, and it was after December 2021. Let me know the date it was awarded. I'll take the contract there to the meeting on the 13th and say this should also apply. So then maybe we can keep that water money.
You want to know when?
But for now, we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Okay.
When we awarded the contract, chief?
Yeah.
That's what you want to know?
When we awarded the contract, when we tendered it, when did we award it? Because that's supposed to apply when they signed that contract, but it was signed on June 21st, 2021. So the dates are critical.
Yeah, when Todd is away for some days this week, I think, right? I'll get you as soon as, because he.
And also the date that the DMAP approved that money. Because it seemed to me that there was quite a bit of lag by the time they approved the DMAP approved before the project got started. It started in the winter. It started in January. I remember that because we were short of money. I had to call Mark Miller. We were short 10 million when the bids came in. And so I had to phone him to say, if you want to end these boil water rights on this many advisors, we need another $10 million. Of course, they wanted us to go to the bank and borrow the money. I said, no, I'm going to ask the minister for the money. Guess what? In 10 days, Mark Miller called back and said, you have the 10 million you need. So then we went ahead with it.
So are you good with the?
So we have a motion then to, we have a,
Yeah. So you
Yeah, we have a motion, I motioned and Curtis seconded it.
to go with option one.
Option one.
Yes.
So this has to be like, I'll be soon bringing the work and then the audit paperwork.
Yeah.
And finalizing, because that needs to be kind of,
Okay.
ASAP, we need to.
Yeah.
I was just waiting.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Perfect.
then what I need though is that information. I need it for Tuesday.
Yes.
I need it on Monday actually, because I'm going to go into Toronto the night before.
This is a separate issue, but Todd is on holidays.
Yeah,
He's coming in for the meeting.
Oh, okay. then.
okay.
But he needs to gather this information.
Well, actually, Cecil should have it because we
Yeah, I
paid
will
money
have to
against
go
that
through my
contract.
email, but it would be easier to find from him. Because
Okay,
I'll
but
go through my email.
Michael can look that up.
Yeah, go through my email if I exactly don't find
We'll get it.
Okay.
So just stay because we still have another, just in case they have
Yeah.
questions.
Okay. How do I get out of this? It's option one, utilizing the water settlement money of $4 million toward the DMAP deficit. Cause the balance of $3 million to come from open LD. Just get the exact numbers from Cecil, Charlie.
It's in the brief.
Then I try to see.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Continue.
Next one is the number 20, a request for a date to host a community audit presentation. And so the 26th, 27th, and 28th has been suggested by John Tour. I don't think those dates are going to work for us. And the phones don't work in here. Does your phone work in here, Sherry?
I only have one bar, which is a very weak signal.
Whatever the date is, you'll have to excuse me.
What he's proposing is a week of the 26th, 27th, or the 28th.
John Tour, please.
We're gone.
May I ask who's calling this afternoon?
Chief Don Miracle, Mohawks of the Bay Quinte. Yeah, I don't think those dates are going to work because of the Oneida meetings.
Yeah.
27th and 28th.
So I was talking to the council. No,
Would the 26th not work?
So whatever other date that
I'll put you on brief hold to discuss something.
And does all of council have to be there for this audit presentation?
like in the past, usually it has
No.
not been like whoever can, for chief, usually.
no, we have meetings in London at that time, so those dates are not going to work.
You guys can carry on with that. This meeting.
Maybe they can come on the 20th.
Yeah, whatever date works best for you, I can go and reach out to John to ask him if that works for him. Because he's also, it's a summer time, he's trying to take all his vacation and all, that's why he's suggested
Yeah.
new dates.
And this has to wrap up that 22, 23 audit.
How's the 23, 24 coming?
Firstly, my priority is OFNLP.
Good. John, could you come on the evening of the 20th for the audit meeting?
For the community presentation?
Yes, because right now the other dates proposed for the end of August, the 26th, 27th, 28th, it doesn't work for council.
The evening of the 20th? Yep.
We're meeting on the bylaw, residency bylaws that day, council, so will the evening of the 20th work for everybody? 7 o'clock? Do we have a motion? Curtis? Who will second it?
A second.
Anyone opposed? Seeing none? Okay, John, the 20th at 7 o'clock. Thank you. Now, where will that be? It'll be here at the Mohawk Administration Office. Okay, thank you.
And what was that meeting with?
John Tour.
John Tour to present the audit for 23, 20.
If they confirm, I'll go flyer and send it out to the social media because whoever wants to attend, they kind of inform me.
It's open to the community, and
Yeah.
community members can participate and come.
Make a flyer and send it to the social media, waiting till the date.
Yeah, it really is a community meeting for that, around that audit.
But Chief, didn't Chief say it's happening here or at the community center?
Here,
Usually in the past, it has happened here, three, 4 times.
Well, what if you had a lot of community members that
Last
want to
time
come
I
out?
went to was at the community center.
There never has been much of a detention. I think we had 3 or 4.
Yeah, last year also 2 people and there are always 3 or 4 people have showed up. So we have always had here, but if you all suggest, I can put that in the flyer, whatever.
Where do you want it? We can have it at the community center if it's available. Anyway, let's set the date at 7 p.m. on the 20th of August, Tuesday, the
we
20th
can
of
look
August.
into availability.
Yeah, okay.
And you can let us know next council, but for now, we'll have it here. But if you want it at the community center, if it's available, we can have it there too, but in the past, it's not been very well attended.
Chief, may I suggest that number 29 is resolved before we meet with community on audit? Because if they show up, they're going to ask about that. Number 29, which is
Okay,
the
now, I
culverts.
did request that you put on the agenda, the columbarium pricing and policy. Can you get that briefing note from my desk, Charlie? I don't see it here.
Is that everything for Cecil then?
Yeah, because I'm getting calls from committee members. There's been another death of feeding on a bird in that columbarium over there, and the undertaker called. I don't know what to tell her. And people are called. It's been sitting there since June. We need to determine the price, and I think keep it simple.
Are you on that agenda item, Chief?
No, but we need to put that on there. I don't see it on here. The columbarium issue. Okay, can we make copies for council? Okay. So Tom sent over an email this morning, which I'll send. Ask Tom to come in, Sherry, please.
Okay,
Chief, why don't we
Cecil,
just add
are
it
you?
to-
Are we done with Cecil now, Chief?
Yeah, we're done with Cecil.
Thank you,
Cecil. Can we have a motion? Hmm? Oh, the beach, 21, we've got to discuss the beach volleyball.
The culverts.
Cecil? Sorry, just a second. I think we might need to fill. One sec, please. I think so. Chief, Cecil, that's her baby, 29. Like you asked to put together, but
29, is that in private? Yes, it is.
Okay.
So we have to go in private to discuss that.
should it be private? Community money.
Which one is that?
That's the
The
culvert
culverts and
loan
the loan
inquiry.
Yes, that has been deferred from.
Right, but now it's back on here again.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So then how much, just give us the figure, I guess, the loan inquiry, what's the number? Because they're supposed to write that off when we settle it.
So lastly, when you discussed with me, Chief, you had told me that in a total of $11 million. So like I summed up, like, of course, we can vary a little bit of amount, but I reached out to bank with the $11 million request. To Scotia Bank as well as to BMO, which is our main bank.
Okay, this was, the loan inquiry was to look at the possibility
Of disbursement.
I would say using the capital, just take out a loan and let the interest pay that so you preserve the capital.
Yes.
But then we said but you made a presentation because the interest had changed, it was not viable.
Yes.
So we've already dealt with that.
But I think.
No, we haven't, okay, we dealt with that issue, but we haven't dealt with the allocation to community members if we're gonna do it. And I was gonna move that meeting when you presented, I was gonna put a motion on the floor. but you
Because
said we could go to council.
that's really what was supposed to be on the agenda, was what are you going to do with the allocation of the community? Because there have been, I've been dogged about that by several members. Some people believe that there should be 100% distribution, that the majority should rule. 61% voted in favor of total distribution. 39% said no, they didn't agree with that. And so it's equal vote for equal vote for equal. One member, one vote. It's equal. So do you want to split it? Like 61% will be available for distribution, less administrative expenses, and the other balance will be preserved for the will of the other people who didn't agree with it. What's the people are asking, and I don't know what to tell them, because I said that it's before council. I said we were going to discuss it at council on today, and I just see it's the loan inquiry, but it was actually how are we going to do further to our meeting, public meeting we had? What are we going to do about this distribution issue?
Well, I thought you had Cecil get the numbers on 11 million based
Yeah,
upon,
but
based
she-
upon the suggestion to give everybody 1,000 each, well, it comes out to 11 million. I'm putting a motion on the floor right now to allocate as per that suggestion and as per the numbers, because it's gonna come up, and I don't want me sitting here same thing 2 years later where we're still looking at it.
Yeah,
We
so
crunch the
I don't know
numbers.
the exact number because that I need to get that.
Okay,
from
but the
membership,
problem was,
how much the total that you're going to distribute.
okay,
But
what
on an
we
average-
don't,
Hang on, Chief, I can't hear.
On an average, we took it as a $1,000 for 11,000.
okay.
And so you keep, that 1,000 each, come out to 11
Okay,
million.
but there's
So
more-
I'm putting a motion on the floor, Chief.
Just wait, there's more to it than that.
Yes.
Because who's going to cut these checks? If you're going to hire Deloitte to do it, then there's going to be a cost to that. We need
That's
to-
fine.
We need to figure out what the cost is going to be first. to
Well,
make
we
an
don't sit here and do
informed
the business plan right here at this table now. That's for the
decision.
bean
But
counters
the
and
other
the smart
thing,
people.
the other thing is that some of the people want all of it distributed.
Well,
And
like you said, we
we've not-
can't keep everybody happy.
No, can't make everybody happy. We make a decision, and if we decide $1,000 per person, that's what it is. And those ones that want those members that did want the 100% of it distributed, they take the 1,000. You're not out money. You're still getting 1,000. And that's it. It's a decision. And like Chris had mentioned, that we've sat on it now for a while, maybe too long. So let's get something done for now. My thought. That's just my thought.
So you want to borrow the money from the bank?
No, I absolutely do not.
Just
want to. I
distribute
already
it.
said that last time. That's silly,
Okay.
Chief. Respectfully,
Okay.
it's silly.
Okay,
Actually, that is on the agenda under private.
Well, it shouldn't be so private. That's community money.
It's community money. It's
It's a
involved in the
discussion.
community.
number 26.
Yes, no, it's supposed to be. And
It's
now
26.
We're jumped ahead and.
Only
Tom-
because
Tom is in the office right now to talk about Columbary.
Okay. He's not in?
He's out at the long-term care facility.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't, why would something that is a community issue be put into private? If it's involving the community, why should it not involve the community? And who put it into private? That's just a question. I mean, it's pretty plain and simple as far as I'm concerned.
so there's a motion then to distribute 1,000 per member. There has to be trust funds of the there has to be trust funds for minors that are 18,
yeah,
okay?
they'll work it all out, Chief.
Okay.
Let's just put that'll flesh
Okay,
itself
so,
out.
okay, and the other thing is you have to, what date, is it the date that the agreement was signed by the minister? Is it the date that council approved it? Is it the date of the ratification vote? You have to have a time to know what the ban is, because there has to be a cutoff at some point in time.
So that's what we have the professionals for. You got.
No, it's a council decision. It's a council.
$1,000 each. You guys work out the details.
It's a council decision.
No, it's
I know.
Council has to decide what's the effective date for that. Every agreement, when there's distribution, there has to be a date. And some of the communities have said, if you are registered on the band at the date of the signing of the agreement, by the minister, if you were on the ban list by that date, then that you will be entitled.
If you were
Others-
alive and on the bed.
Others will say it was the date that the community ratified it, that the settlement, then that's the date. And there are different dates, so you need to pick a date.
Chief, motion approval in principle, $1,000 each. Staff will come back with the details. This, and
I
this.
know,
The way
I
we're
know.
talking.
I don't understand.
Sherry's right, though, the staff cannot make that decision. It's a political
No, but
decision.
You can
for the
come back
council.
with that to us. So suggested dates.
Okay.
Here, you say effective this date. Here's the scenario. Effective this date, the scenario.
I
So we have
think-
pros and cons.
Okay, now, my thought is that when it was granted, when the money was given to the Mohawks of the Bay of Quinte,
Okay, and that's a different idea.
well, when this all went through, and the children were born afterwards, when this went through, they weren't around,
Yeah.
right?
So,
So anybody that was born after that particular date that this became, that went through, so now we just gotta figure out what date, what, Uncle, you know the dates of.
well, for 45 days after the agreement was signed, Canada was obligated to pay that money over to the trust fund, which they did. So that's the day after the minister signed it. They had 45 days to get that money into the Bank Montreal account.
So
Culverson
it
Bank
becomes
account.
either that day that they.
So you,
agreed or
but
the one
there's
date
different
that they went
dates. So there it can be the date that the minister signed it. It can be the date that you authorized me to sign it. It can be the date that the community voted for it, or it can be the date that the money landed in the bank.
What date do you suggest?
It all works. It doesn't matter. It's a political decision.
I would
Okay.
say let's do with $1,000. My motion would be, let's do it for the $1,000, and we do it at the day of the ratification vote.
Ratification vote, I can live with that.
Okay, I'll second that then.
So is that part of your motion? Ratification vote day.
Yes.
Okay?
Everybody agree?
So.
When the community ratify it,
Any baby born after that? don't get it.
Exactly.
It's from there. Yes.
Because remember, the council only can initially and recommend it to be voted on by the people, but it's a people's decision to vote for that, to accept the settlement. But in terms of, and what you said you would do is you would consult the community on the agreement for the purpose of the funds. And of course, when you did that, you hired Dan Brandt. It cost us $100,000 to do that work, or you created a budget of that amount, I should say. Maybe it didn't cost that much, but you created a budget of that amount to do that work. And so he hired Deloitte, and there was mail outs and all kinds of stuff that'd be done. There was phone calls, there was phone bills galore.
Okay, well, so, but anyway, like Linda said, the rent.
Cecil has a question.
Yeah, so having said that, we are confirming that the ratification date be booked, and anybody born after that will be not getting it.
No.
So I can get that details from Lisa, because she needs to figure it out who in the membership are born after that, and we can get the list. In regards to the disbursement of $1,000, like if we get all the members, like we can do an EFT or we can do check as well. I can make that arrangement happen from finance.
This is the issue with the ratification date. You don't have an agreement until the minister signs it. Then that is binding on Canada. What the community is doing by the ratification date is they are saying, we will accept this agreement. And so that's it, they accept it, but there is no agreement in place until it's signed and executed. A lot of communities, you go by the date that the government signs it.
But it doesn't matter,
But it's up to the council.
If we just say.
Remember, there were 2 vote dates. Because
That's why we're asking you, chief, what was your opinion? What date should we
okay,
go
so
by?
you're gonna have, which.
Because if you
okay.
gave a suggestion and then now you want to give
No,
another suggestion, now I'm confused.
but I can have a sober second thought, okay, and that's what but.
Well, they said that's only for women.
It will work, Linda, we can work it that way, there's nothing
Well,
wrong with your suggestion. But remember, just remember, you had 2 vote dates. There was one in September and there was one in October.
Chief, we've already got approval in principle, and they can come back with the details. Okay, you got to pick a date, and this date will affect it by this much. Then we go, okay, this, that. Then you have a little bit of a flow chart and a graph saying it costs here.
We'll do that.
Work the details.
The first vote date,
Yeah.
that's it, done. Thank you, Linda.
Moving on.
Okay, I would go by the second date because the voting was still going on at the concluding vote date. If you're going to pick the vote date, when the vote was done, which was in October.
Well, that's why I had asked what you would suggest as the date. Then I would
What I
go
said,
more
what
by
I said
your
is most
suggestion. Did you
communities,
know?
most communities have
Well,
utilized.
give me the date and that's what I'll go by,
Charlie?
chief.
I don't know the date that we can get it, but it'll be the second vote date, the conclusion.
Fine, then I'll
Let
amend
me
my
chair the meeting.
motion.
That's my job. I have to keep reminding council, it's my job to listen to you guys and tell the secretary.
Yeah, because
If
that is
everybody's
very
jumping and
important.
sharing
Based on
and
that,
sharing,
we'll get the total
it-
number,
We just
right?
have a mess here.
Your,
So anyway, it'll be the
Trust, yeah,
second,
because they can't have the check in hand, right? There's a lot of work behind this. There is. Yep.
so the effective date will be the second vote date, whatever that is. I think it'll get that date from Lisa, because that vote was concluded, that the community accepted it at that
So it's
point.
not the ratification vote now.
The ratification vote date, but remember, there's 2 dates they had, because they had extended for some reason.
Second ratification vote?
There were 2 vote dates.
One that we had for the ratification.
It had to be extended for some reason or other, because I think people didn't get the mail outs or something, there was some reason. Yeah, the second ratification vote date, there were 2 vote days.
Yeah, Lisa should have that date, and we'll have to work based on that date, like find out how many are minors, how many are, because we need to put up a trustee for the minors.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of kind of a breakdown of work
Okay.
there.
Cecil, it seemed to me the Bank of Montreal had a program where they would offer $300 if you open an account. Could we do that? Is that still on? Can you check with the bank on that? Because you might be able to sweeten that.
But
with
we
another
already
thing.
have, like, where the money is being deposited, our cash out will be from the same account, like, because we are using
the same
No,
culverts and fund, right?
It should not all be in one account. It should be in separate accounts based on those people, because if they die, then there's interest calculations on it. It should be held in trust in that.
Oh, for the trust account, yes,
Yeah.
okay, for that you are.
So for the
okay,
trust
okay.
accounts, what I want to know, what I'm asking you.
Okay,
Does the
$300.
Bank of Montreal still have it?
I think that's still open. What I saw lastly in their website, it was there, but I'll double check with Ian to open a bank account.
If we open up a bank account for a minor, do they still have that $300 that
Okay,
they put
perfect.
in too?
Minor.
If that's still on, maybe that might be a way to, but I'm not saying that, just look into it.
Yeah,
Okay, so then the second ratification vote date will be the date then, it'll be $1,000 then.
Okay.
So we can at least give the people some kind of answer, but there's gonna be people not happy because some people.
Well, that's
want
fine.
it
That's
all.
fine.
Let's move on, Chief.
Please,
Sun's gonna come
everybody,
up
if we're
tomorrow
gonna
again.
please everybody at this table, we're gonna still be talking about it when
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
into the home in 95.
Come on, let's get to it.
Well, that's past 95.
so I
Okay.
understand that we are taking the money from the 27 million that we have received in the
trust you
bank.
folks to go cover the next agenda, so
Okay, she
here's what we
wants
heard
to
to say.
confirm something.
Yeah, first, yes, I'll get that information through Lisa, that how many people, how many members
yeah.
are qualifying. But my question is, we have approved based on my loan inquiry briefing note that we are taking the money from the 27 million and we are not borrowing it, right?
No, we're not.
No, we're not
We
borrowing.
said no
Yeah,
last
okay.
We're
council.
just taking it right out of the fund and paying it out.
Paying it out, okay.
Now,
That-
you'll
I
have to
think
get,
I was not aware.
I would use Deloitte too, because they've verified addresses and stuff like that. The administrative part of it, because that's a lot of checks, and they have to validate that they have good addresses and stuff. And they're insured if there's some kind of,
Oh, it's a huge piece of work.
It's a huge
yeah.
piece of work. Yeah, we can execute it, but it,
We have the manpower.
yeah,
I
but
know,
we'll have to,
but
we'll
anyway,
take
And
some.
we let the members know that it's not gonna get. they're
Yeah,
not
like
gonna
we'll
get
have to
tomorrow.
we'll have to do this like, one batch, two batch, three batch. Like we
Sure,
don't want
yeah.
all the members to come on the one day and want the check. Like we'll have to go by the age, we might decide by the age or by addresses maybe, but disbursement can happen in batches, like,
You guys can work that out. We don't have to sit here and
Yeah.
micromanage this all
Yeah.
friggin' day long,
Okay.
just one little thing.
Yeah.
We'll be here till midnight on one item.
Well, we do want you to know that it's gonna take a little bit of.
Oh, I
time
know,
to
we just.
Okay, but
go do
let's
the work.
start it now, not next month.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're gonna sit here for 3 hours on this one item
Yeah.
today.
Let's get it done now instead of.
Well,
You know what we want?
does warrant some discussion.
okay,
Beautiful.
Perfect. Okay.
so it's been decided. Now we at least can give the people an answer.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, is that everything for Cecil now?
Okay, I think we've decided on 26 then,
Yeah, 26th, no, what?
and this is in public now. Okay, no. This is community property. I asked for this columbarium thing to be put on here. I see it didn't, my instructions were not adhered to. So anyway, so Tom sent around, I just sent you an email. Tom sent me the figures on the columbarium. The columbarium figures, the monument cost was $21,153. Stamped concrete was $5,680. The project coordination was $2,228 for a total of $29,061. And we are absorbing the cost of taking that vault down because it was put on that site, okay? So the cost of the columbarium is $29,061. If we divide that by 16 niches, 29,000.
Hold on, the project budget. Oh, I see, okay.
2,000
Yeah.
per shelf.
Just wait, that was 29,061. Divide it by just 18, 16, 31. So the columbarium at Christchurch, so you understand the history of this. When the wardens at the church came with Shirley and Charlie,
But this one here.
but you need to understand this. This is what I'm
They
saying.
just ask for motion, we'll just, look up the history lesson, we'll just approve it.
But I want you to understand the rationale for it. So anyway, the one at Christchurch was cost recovery. It cost about $10,000. Lawns donated the bench. Okay, and so that was donated. So then The council then said it has to be on cost recovery and a little bit more money toward the other, when that one's full, there'll be a little bit put aside for the next one that's got to be put there. So if we use that same rationale for this, the cost recovery here alone will be 1816. You're going to put some money aside for the next one. It might be around 2,000 an each.
Exactly, that's what I said.
So do you want to do that? Or do you want to just go strictly cost? Well, I guess I'm telling you what your options are.
Move on.
I'll move it, chief.
2,000?
2,000,
I'll second.
2,000 an each? Okay.
done. Okay? Yeah, I can give him an answer, chief.
Because you have to take some responsibility. Well, the chief would recommended it, so therefore I just rub it down. $2,000 a niche. So I can tell the funeral director that they can buy them at this price. Now, the policy would be niches are sold on a cost recovery basis, so that's $2,000. And the niches, so it's Curtis Grant, Curtis Grant, and Chris Miracle.
Or Chris Miracle did.
So the niches are sold on a cost of first come basis. Persons purchasing niches must pay prior to the interment.
Mhm.
The lands manager at Mohawk is the contact person. The purchaser of the niche is responsible for all costs of lettering on the face of the niche and for making the arrangements with the monument company for the grave. Do you approve this policy, interim policy?
Yeah, we did.
And policies, 2,000 plus this plus policy. Good. This is August the 7th. Done. Now before we went private, we had to discuss the beach volleyball. Chris, you're going to speak that in the splash pads.
Well, the last time I played with it, you said it's in camera. Nope. The last time I played with it, you said it's.
But as long as you're not criticizing staff, you're asking questions.
Well,
But
my
when's it going to
question
be
is,
finished?
it's been like some of these things 3 years, so you can take it any way you want.
Okay. So what we need a status report. When is this project going to get completed? Is there budget to do it? Who's looking?
For
Who's
which project?
the splash pad in volleyball?
Well, the splash pad, absolutely. They're actually in the final stages
No,
of
just
it
gonna
now.
say,
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, the fence just went up today,
The
chief.
water was hooked up. They're putting the policies and signs up. It's ready to roll here very shortly.
Okay.
Maybe I'm the only guy that has this. I'm not the only person. I'm maybe the only person at this table that's get really frustrated. I know the community is like, Chris, what the hell? Some of these things, the two I've just talked about, I don't want to be misquoted. I'm not sure volleyball or splash pad.
Okay.
3 years ago,
So
3 years later, and
So-
we put out a notice, June 22nd grand
Okay.
opening, and the contractors are telling me, you didn't know, no one told me. And so, and now I'm like, Chris, you told us. Why did you pass a motion 3 years ago? Why did you put it in the newsletter, June 22nd? And when it came to the budget, you look at the budget what we approved, it went way over. I don't think just get it done. Here we are 3 years later. How was the grand opening June 22nd?
I didn't know.
How
But
was it for the 3-year-olds? I don't have nowhere to go for splash pads. Gotta go
okay.
to
So
Anthony.
Sherry, when is this project going to be completed? And when do you expect it to be done?
I wish Tom was here to be able to tell you an exact date, but he's not. So I can't give you an exact, I know it's very.
Okay.
close.
So then an action item will be to have Tom update the council on when the project will be completed for community use and maybe what the expenses are, just a wrap up report. And then now, what about the volleyball? What's going on with that?
Again, I would have to have Tom.
Tom. So can we get a status report then for the next council meetings to answer Chris's questions about when will the project be completed, the budget and all that? There's nothing we can do about the fact that it's taken a long time. I don't know whether
Well, that's our
contractors were not available.
We
I
are
don't know the
totally
reason.
responsible for not being done on time.
Okay,
Chief.
but
There's
I
not
don't,
nothing we can do. We are responsible.
Maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe the contractors were not available. I don't know what the reason is. And I think it's fair if we, at least if there's a delay because of the reason, because there were not a lot of contractors around to do work during the COVID time.
Well, I know that a year or two, a couple years ago, when the council and the previous CAO lodged complaints about someone's volunteering and getting free corporate donations, and we would have had it done within a few days. Instead, they embarked upon a full-scale investigation, which said, I'm not allowed to volunteer, but anybody else in this community can volunteer, and they were going to do it in-house. And we're not, and when as opposed to when I said no more consultants for an oversized sandbox, 2 years later, I want to know, community wants to know how much you're spending on an oversized sandbox, on consultants, on engineers, why you're putting a beach volleyball from beside the road where our landscape architect said, absolutely you can do it, put up a fence.
Okay.
We didn't do the fence, and now we're going to put it behind the,
Chris,
the
what we are-
home run fence.
And the other thing about it is these issues were put before council and the council voted to do it that way. There's not much I can do about it, so I don't see the benefit of ragging on
No,
about it
what
now.
I'm finding out is the new council, we're just like, with respect to new council, they're new. But it's like,
What can we do about it?
okay, well, then I see, if we're in public, I can't say what we should do.
But what can we do? The clock is
What I would
moving
do-
forward. What can we do about it?
Get somebody to get it done.
Okay, and so Sherry's just told you that the
And how's that working for you so far?
the splash pad, but get a report on when it's going to be done, and so we can at least give Chris an answer to these questions.
It's not
and,
just Chris.
and along with the
It's the
budget.
community. There's hundreds of little kids and grandmas and moms and dads going, why am I going to Napanee? Why'd you approve something 3 years ago?
Okay.
And all I can do is go,
Okay, so-
I'm only one person.
Okay,
All
so
I can
we're
do is
talking
keep
about
complaining.
two separate things. We're talking about the volleyball part right now.
2 items.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll get a status report
But
on
the
it.
splash pad, like I said, is very near completion. It's, the water's been hooked up, they're putting up the signage, the fence is up, it's almost ready.
I
to
know,
roll.
but for 3 weeks, nothing was going on there. For like 3 weeks, not one body's up there.
Yeah. and I
June,
know-
July, our kids are waiting, and hey, it's June, July, we're the contractors. So you
Yeah.
can't say our staff are too busy because the splash pad was a contracted, approved years ago.
Okay, find out why the contractors have not, why it's taken the length of time that it has to finish it. There could be a reason, but I don't know what that reason is.
Yes, I'm doing
I'm not
status
involved in
report,
the
which is
day-to-day
right there.
management of contracts.
And respectfully, sure,
Well, we
this isn't
have
your baby.
directors
This
and
was approved years
managers.
ago. I'm not, for 1 second, hold you at
I
all
don't-
responsible.
I don't know the history of the volleyball court.
But I do.
don't know the volleyball court either, and I'd like to see that whole history. I don't know what happened at last council. I wasn't here.
Okay, anyway, those items were, Tom brought the budget. So from what I've been told, that some of to get the funding, you had to have professional people design it and all this kind of stuff, and they wanted all that stuff, so I think he was complying with the terms of the conditions of the funder. And so we need those details, that's part of the day-to-day management, which David and staff were handling. I don't know that level of detail. I just know they were put on the agenda, the engineers' reports were there, the council approved to proceed that way. So if we can get staff, I guess, to provide council with that report, that'll be great. Okay.
Are we ready to, go into,
We're ready to go in private. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Linda? You'll second it.
And then
Chief.
Curtis? Okay, 216.
can we take a
We
5-minute
need to
break?
review and adopt the agenda.
Can we take a 5-minute break?
5-minute break, we can.
Thank you.